Oh my God, y'all don't know the half of it. Okay, I'll explain it. I'll explain it. But we're live. We're live, and we're live and in color. We're live and we're on the air. I need everybody that is here to please thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. We were on earlier, so we're gonna lose some notifications. So if you can, while I get organized here, please hit the thumbs up button. Thank you so much. It is time for Rip from the Headlines. We're about 37 minutes behind, but that's all right. It's okay. It's all right. We still gonna do this thing. As soon as I close this out, okay, there we go, and get my monitor up. Okay, so please share the video, hit the like button. I'm gonna do some sharing once the music starts. Okay, then I want to go over here. There we go. Okay, let's rock and roll, everybody. Thank y'all for tuning in. It is time. It is time. Intro, please. Okay, we had to stop there before they started back up again, but it's okay. So I'm going to share this to a few people, y'all. Hold on one second. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Because we were live earlier, and I know them notifications are gone. Y'all, we got to talk about this cold weather in Atlanta. What is going on, baby? It is freezing. And then I turn the heater on, and then I get too hot. Then I turn the heater off, and it's like I can't make up my mind, y'all. I can't. Okay, hold on. Okay, just want to make sure all the Kai Squad at least got a notification, y'all. At least at the minimum. Okay, so we're almost at 200. So that's all we need right now because it is a late hour. Okay. I'm just sending out just a few notifications. There we go. That's all we need. Is Samarta here? Let me send it out to Samarta and Timbri, and we're good. Okay, Samarta and Timbri. Oh, Overseer, where is Overseer? Oh, he's already here. Overseer, where is here? Timbri. I don't even know if Timbri is here or not. Okay. So I don't know what's going on tonight with the YouTube. When YouTube is okay. Did we do okay, we did that, Samarta, and then we need Timbri, and then we good to go. Okay, we're good to go. All right. Mm-hmm. Oh, they already here. Okay, well, child, listen. Sometimes I can't see. You know, when I get back under these Dream Girls lights, honey, I barely can see. All right, y'all, listen. I had a good meal, and I ain't gonna lie to you. I fell out. I fell asleep. I had a really good meal, baby, and the next thing I know, I was resting with Mahalia in the hills of Wakanda. Mm-hmm. I was I was resting in the hills of Wakanda. I got up like 8:25. I'm like, oh my God. I gotta hurry and finish, uploading these slides and getting these notes together. Mm-hmm. Okay, how many likes do we have, everybody? How many likes do we have? Uh-huh. You just got a notification? Okay, well, child, you know how YouTube is. YouTube is that homegirl that's really funny acting, right? Okay. YouTube is that homegirl that's really funny acting, right? Okay, uh-huh. Mm. Okay, y'all. We're gonna wait just a millisecond more. What are the earlier they really did some good thumbs up earlier, y'all. Can we get that thumbs up action? I guess when it's mess, when it's some tea or some mess going on, you get more likes, you know what I'm saying, than if you just doing some regular content. 95. Okay, let's just go for 100, y'all. We can't be here all night. It is what it is, girl, at this point. Because some of these people, they just come here and flop down. They don't want to hit nothing. They just. Okay, let's just go for 100 likes and we'll get started. 100 likes. Okay, we got 103, but keep going. Keep going. Don't stop. Keep going. Thank you so much. Okay. All right, y'all, let's rock and roll. Share, share, share. Invite, invite, invite. Samara, I'm going to call you after the show. I'm going to call you after the show. Oh, thank you. This is Heather Gray. This is like a Heather Gray. A Heather Gray. Okay. Give me 1 second. Okay, let's get to the top 3 stories you need to know about. Let's get to the top 3 stories you need to know about as soon as I get the graphic together. These are 3 stories you need to know about, y'all. Somebody say, I need to know. Yeah, say that to me right quick. Say, I need to know, Arch. Yeah. 3 stories you need to know about, and they are as follows. The estate of Biggie Smalls, is saying that segment in the Biggie Smalls documentary was not accurate about Puff Daddy not paying for Biggie's funeral, and that they charge Biggie for his own funeral. And there's no word from Netflix or 50 Cent or anybody involved on how they're going to address this, because when the estate speaks, that's really that speaks volumes, you guys. When the estate speaks and says like, yeah, they say that they don't know what they're talking about, but Biggie's service was paid for by Puffy. He handled everything. Hey, Alicia, do me a big favor, everybody. Thumbs up, and do me a favor and share to 5 Top Squad members, or share to 5 people in general. Thank you, Miss V, for being a member for 17 months. Thank y'all so much for rolling on in here. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So that is huge, y'all, because this documentary is got a lot of buzz right now. Everybody is talking about this. What is it called? The Reckoning. Everybody's talking about it, and so with the estate coming out and saying, no, wait a minute, hold up, that's not accurate. That says a lot. And so we will see, as I said, what the official response from Netflix or anybody involved with Netflix or anybody involved will be entailing. Okay. This is really like, okay, this is weird. So a congresswoman, let me get her name right quick. Hold on, Taswa. Hold on. Let me pull her up really quickly. This is a Georgia congresswoman, and I just feel like this is so unnecessary, y'all. Like, folks, we can't be this. We can't be this sloppy. Her name is Sharon Henderson, y'all. Sharon Henderson, and they say she's been indicted, honey, on some type of fraud key. So I don't know. Whenever I see, hold on one second. I got the name. I got to get the notes. See, this is what happens when you're running late, y'all. I don't have my notes together. Okay, hold on. I'm about to type this in manually. Sharon Henderson, hold on. Okay, there we go. She's been indicted for unemployment fraud. Like, ma'am, come on. Like, this is what we doing. Sharon Henderson has been indicted for unemployment fraud. Others are being investigated. Listen, the feds in the popo. Hey, Tamara, where you been? The feds in the popo may be knocking on quite a few doors. That's what they're saying. Okay, this story was updated Monday, December 8th. Okay. A Georgia State House member is accused of lying about her employment to collect federal employment benefits during the pandemic. I told everybody that was getting them PPP checks. I know, but make sure you make some time for yourself, Tamara. Always make a little time for yourself. Everybody was doing all that fraud and PPP loans and PPP and BBD. They were going to double back and get everybody eventually. They were going to double back, although it's been 5 years, y'all. Eventually, they was going to come back looking for this money. And so, ma'am, you being a House member, you being a congresswoman, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. You really ought to be ashamed of yourself, right? Okay. All right. Oh yeah, she really cutting up. Representative Henderson, a Covington, Georgia Democrat, has been indicted on 2 counts of theft of government funds and 10 counts of making false statements. Prosecutors announced on Monday. They're gonna lock your ass up if this is found to be true. They're gonna lock your ass up, Miss Lady. And listen, y'all, I don't care if it's a Democrat or if it's a Republican. You're being held to a different standard when you are in, politics. You should know that they're gonna be looking over you with a fine-tooth comb. You should know that. I'm trying not to get triggered, y'all, but I know some of y'all have already heard by now that 47, that demon, that warlock from the pits of hell, has basically removed free admission days on MLK Day and Juneteenth. And he has added a holiday honoring, I think, his birthday. So this is what I say, y'all. We cannot be fooled. We cannot be fooled that this man is not a racist. This is not covert. This is not dog whistle. This is basically racism. And they want you to know, why would you choose 2 holidays? Somebody said, well, they rotate sometimes. I don't give a damn what they do. No, we need to pay attention to this. That is horrible. I've seen quite a few people lay him out today because of this. He's exhausting. He is exhausting, Tamara. At this point, it's like, sir, that's what's in your heart? He wants to, extrapolate every accomplishment that President Obama ever did, right? Yeah. And so until people get clear until people get clear. Sorry, I can't chat. It says I'm not okay. I have put a timer on the chat, Miss V. Let me go. I don't know how you can't chat because you should be subscribed to the channel. It's only 3 days, but let me see what I can do. Hold on one second. Y'all make sure y'all are subscribed to the channel and make sure you're not unsubscribing and resubscribing. Okay. Let me see what I can do really quickly. 1 second. Because it was only on 3 days. It was only on 3 days. I put a modification on the chat, but it was only on 3 days. So I don't know. You've been here a long time. I don't know why you wouldn't be able to chat because you've been here more than 3 days. You've been subscribed more than 3 days, rather. Okay. Can you see now if you can chat, Miss V? Can you see now? Can you chat, Miss V? I have no idea. You've been subscribed more than it was only 3 days that I put on the timer. Can you see now, Miss V? Can you say something in the chat? Let me see. If you can say something, just type something and see if something goes through. He needs to take, yeah. Okay, I don't know. Try typing now, Miss V. Try typing now. Okay. Is she typing? All right. Okay. All right. So that's what's going on with 47, y'all. These are 3 stories that I thought you really would know about. We got a whole congresswoman down here getting ready to possibly be convicted if they find that she did what she is being accused of. But you know, and this is a black woman. We don't need this, ma'am. What's her name? Miss Sharon. We don't need this right now, baby. We really don't need this. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I don't know where she did the super chat and she said, "Hey everybody, I'm sorry I can't chat. It says I'm not a subscriber, but I'm okay." Okay. Hold on 1 second, y'all. I'm gonna phone call. Oh, I gotta take this. Hold on 1 second. Hello? I'm sorry, you guys. I had to take that call. I'm so sorry. It's just a lot going on tonight, y'all. It's just a busy Monday night. Do you forgive me? I had to take that phone call, Ty Squad. Okay, did Miss V, was she able to come back to the chat? Was she able? I don't know what I think she unsubscribed. Oh Jesus! I think she unsubscribed when she saw that she couldn't chat. I don't know what she did. I don't know. I don't know. And when you hit that button, it's like starting all over. Maybe that's what I think she did. Okay. Anyways, y'all, thank y'all for being patient. I have to take that very important phone call. Thank y'all so much. Why don't we jump right into the Black Hollywood Report? Let's jump into the Black Hollywood Report as soon as I get it. Okay, there we go. Um, It is time for the Black Hollywood Report. I don't see anything. You don't see what, Miss Melanie? Probably answered, we love you, Ty. No worries. Okay. You don't see what? I don't see anything. I think she must. She probably hit that unsubscribe button, subscribe, unsubscribe. I don't know what she did, and then like once that happens, here she go. No worries, mother. Go on with the show. I'm listening and ain't going. I know. But you hit this. You have to hit the subscribe, unsubscribe button. Did you do that? Did you? You had to, because it's only on 3 hours right now. So I think that's what she did. I didn't see her post. Okay. All right. All right. It's always eventful here at the Hollywood Report. It's always eventful here at the Hollywood Report. Okay, Cosmo, let's jump into it. Okay, let's jump into it. Monique Samuels. Yes, you heard me correctly. Monique Samuels has said that she's made amends with, what's her name? What's that lady name? Giselle Bryant. She said she's made some inroads. And that's sweet. Ain't that nice? That's very sweet. Now she said there's no hope. There's no hope for her and Giselle Bryant. Not none. Let me type this really quickly. There we go. Okay. There's no hope for her and Candace. But her and Giselle have got to a better place. Her and Giselle have got to a better place. These are women from the Real Housewives of Potomac. This is a show that I have not seen in a while, y'all. I haven't seen the Real Housewives of Potomac in like 2 years. Cece said, ain't that Cece said, ain't that nice? I mean, Monique, she went to Love and Marriage DC for a while. She went there, that child. That was a mess. And then I guess I don't know if she's returning or not, y'all. I don't know what she's doing. And Giselle, her and Robin are so fake to me. They're the fakest people in America, Giselle and Robin. So, honey, it's all of this shit is probably fake and perfunctory. You know what I'm saying? But we'll keep an eye out and see if Monique and Giselle become BFFs. We'll see. All right. This is really tragic, you guys. DJ Quick's son. This is a West Coast rapper. This is a rapper that I'm very familiar with. I was one of his biggest fans in the 90s and the 2000s. And it's just sad to report that DJ Quick, West Coast icon, actually, the son of rapper DJ Quick, has been convicted of second-degree unaliving in the 2022 shooting unaliving of 33-year-old Julio Moses Cardoza Jr. in Downey, California. Prosecutors say Cardoza had gotten into a fight with another man when Blake, sitting in a nearby car, opened fire before driving away. Cardoza was taken to a hospital with multiple gunshot wounds and later passed away. Jurors also convicted Blake of shooting from a vehicle and found true the gun and great bodily injury enhancements, leaving him facing 40 years to life in prison. Blake, who turns 31 on Friday, is scheduled to be sentenced on February 6th. Oh, Jesus, honey. These young men out here, y'all, we got to do better, baby. This ain't it. These young men, Callie, and I know you know DJ Quick too, Callie. That y'all got to do better. Y'all throwing y'all lives away for what? You win some fights, you lose some fights. Sometimes you don't win every fight. Sometimes you may lose a fight or two. Sometimes you get mad because your homeboy got beat up. You don't just go and blow somebody away and shoot into somebody's car. That's not how you do it. It's not. I promise you it's not. 40 years he's facing. And that was his twin. He looked just like his daddy, honey. He can deny him if he wanted to. He looked just like his pappy. Okay. We got some. We got a we got a legal victory for Smokey Robinson. Smokey. Oh, okay. All right, Smokey. Y'all know Smokey. They was saying Smokey was over there being freak nasty and doing all kind of freaky stuff, right? Okay. A judge recently ordered the accusers In the civil lawsuit against Smokey Robinson to turn over their cell phones for imaging, the ruling gives um, Robinson's defense team access to potentially relevant communications, such as text, call logs, and other data that might be used as evidence, right? Several news outlets describe this ruling as a partial victory for Robinson. Did y'all hear that? A partial victory for Robinson. And so, do y'all agree with that? That if you are accusing somebody of something, you should have to turn over, cell phones and all kinds of stuff, so we can see if what you're saying is true. How many people agree with that? Mm-hmm. Baby Smokey, I don't know. Child, I didn't even see this on my bingo card for Smokey, y'all. I'm just being honest. This is something I just did not see for Smokey. Smokey, they talking about he run around putting his private out, putting his meat out on maids and women's and stuff. Some of y'all seem like some of y'all agree. Continue to hit the like button. Continue to thumbs up. Miles, let me know what the likes are looking like. Uh-huh. It was the maid. Yes, I agree, but Smokey need to come to the altar. Smokey, if you running around there with your bathrobe on with no underwear on, baby, we may need to talk, Smokey, because your wife Claudette, she's really a nice lady. I don't know nobody that don't give a high compliment to damn what's her name, Claudette. I don't know not one person that don't give a great compliment to the wife of Smokey. Oh, we got 170 likes. Wait a minute. Let's see if we can do this really quick. Let's see if we can do this. Okay, let's see if we can do this. Bill. Bill! I haven't said that in a long time. Let's see if we can do 30 more likes, y'all. 30 more likes, and at the end of the show, I may tell you a Hollywood story. I know y'all love Hollywood tales, okay? I may give you an old Hollywood story, y'all, or maybe San Francisco. I haven't decided, okay? Mm-hmm. He could be battling dementia, which would make him act out of character. Smart, we're not doing that. Smokey, if Smokey did it, Smokey knew what he was doing. I'll give y'all a Hollywood story or a San Francisco story, or I'll give you a nice musicology, at the end of the hour. If y'all can hit that and get to 200. 200 is we can do it's easy. Just do it. Like Nike says, just do it, Ty Squad. Smokey in the smokehouse. They said Smokey was over there playing with his meat and stuff. Underwear, meat hanging out of his underwear. Yeah. Mel, see, he too old for this foolishness. Smokey! oh, this is so sad. I can't believe this is the what do you call it? The legacy that Smokey is leaving behind, y'all. I just can't believe it. I don't want to accept that. Wait. All right. Hold on. Let me bring this back down. Comments. There we go. And then we're gonna bring the picture down. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. Have we got the 200 likes yet? Didn't his maid accuse his wife of forcing her to participate? Child, it's been a lot. There's been a lot of allegations, WJ99. Yes, make sure y'all, my Amazon wish list is in the chat. Some of you have asked about it. Many of you have asked about it, but it's in the chat right there, my Amazon wish list. I added one thing today. I added some things to the list. I don't want to accept it either. I know Prophet is saying, how you been? I'm hollering Aretha would be a shame. Yeah, and they were the closest. Smokey and Aretha were like best friends. The way he get to twisting his hips. Y'all, and he had what was his album called? Orgasm? What was his last album called? It was called Orgasm or Eargasm. Smokey, if you don't go sit your old ass down somewhere, hold on. What was that last album called, y'all? Hold on. Oh, that's the son. Oh wow, he looked just like it. You are right here. I think the song was called Eargasm. Anybody, y'all would know what that damn song is called. Hold on one second. Oh, but y'all doing good. All right, y'all. Okay. Smokey Robinson. What was it called? I think it was called Eargasm. Popular releases, see more. Oh, it was called Gasms. Gasms. You making people have orgasms? Oh, this ain't that type of show. You making people have orgasms, Smokey? It's called Gasms. I'm good, Ty. I've been trying to keep up with the. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Love you, y'all. If we could just move just a little bit more, we can get to 400. If we could just keep up the momentum. Anyways, that was the Black Hollywood Report, y'all. It is time for. I don't know what it's time for. What is it time for? Mm. Oh, we had an update. Let's get that update in. Okay. So, Sinners, whoa, man. Award season has officially begun with the nominations out for the Golden Globes and the Critics' Choice. Okay, if you enjoyed Sinner, if Sinners was a good movie to you, just put a one orange heart in the chat or any heart you can find. If you were a fan of Sinners the movie, you can put an orange heart in the chat if that was your movie. Okay. Let me get hold on, let me see what we got here. Hold on. 17 Golden Globe nominations, including Best Director, Best Picture, Best Actor. Oh, wow. Wow, wow, wow. Best Young Actor, Miles Canton, original. It's so many, y'all. We had to shout out Sinners, y'all. If you enjoyed Sinners, Overseer, where you enjoyed it? Okay, y'all. I thought they said one of the people was snubbed. I think this is her name. I think somebody said one of the actresses was snubbed. The Golden Globe snubbed them. But I think her name is listed. I'll have to double check that. Okay, so they got 17 Golden Globe nominations, and then they got. Oh, I'm sorry. Oop, my bad. I messed up, y'all. I messed up. They got 7 Golden Globe nominations. One of the actresses did not get the root worker that played the root worker. She did not get a nomination, y'all. She didn't. Okay, the black lady that played the root worker, she didn't get a Golden Globe nomination. They had 17 Critics' Choice nominations, right? Hey, Kendra Mercury. They had 17 Critics' Choice nominations. Okay. Shout out to Sinners, and they get some Oscar buzz. Then we really, we're in business if they get some Oscar buzz. Okay. Now it's time for us to move to the talk of the net. Talk of the net. Let's get into it. There it is right there. You better hurry up and get this graphic, girl, before you okay, there it is. Okay. Let's get to the talk of the net. And this is actually a sad case, you guys. It's so unfortunate that so many of you guys know Alexander O'Neal. Alexander O'Neal was in a very bad fire at his house. My goodness. And they believe it was related, I think, to his oxygen tank. Let me get this story together. Okay. Alexander O'Neal. It's just unfortunate that. Okay, hold on one second. Alexander O'Neal fire. There it is. Okay. Okay, so Alexander O'Neal hospitalized again after oxygen machine sparks apartment fire. And this is in the Minneapolis area, Burnsville, Minnesota. R&B singer Alexander O'Neal has been, and his wife, Cynthia, were hospitalized after a fire destroyed their Burnsville apartment early December 5th. Just hours after the musician was released from a nearly 2-week hospital stay. Cynthia O'Neal told TMZ she works around 1 a.m. She woke, to find fire on the cord of her husband's oxygen machine. Alexander O'Neal burned his foot while attempting to stomp out the flames on the floor before the mattress ignited, according to the report. Oh my God, this is sad, man. Not Alexander O'Neal. Hey, Kendra Mercury. Hey, baby. Yeah, that's her name. Man, I'm sorry to hear this about Alex, because Alexander done been through so much. The couple escaped their third floor apartment and called 911. Parade added um, paramedics transported both to a nearby hospital where Cynthia O'Neill was examined and released. The singer underwent additional lung testing. Wow. Before being discharged later that day, Alexander O'Neill has spent almost 2 weeks in intensive care on life support, where he was treated for enlarged heart and bacterial pneumonia. His wife said the fire destroyed the couple's home and three other apartment units. A city representative told TMZ reported that the remaining residents were able to return to their homes. There was nothing left. There was water up to my ankles, Cynthia O'Neill told TMZ, describing the damage. I hope that the celebrities and the stars can come together and do something financially for him, y'all. You know, all of these people, all these millionaires and people out here. I hope somebody, y'all, because Alexander, he's been through a lot and he's given a lot. The man really can sing, and Alexander was truly an unsung R&B artist of back in the day. I looked at that Naida and I was saying to myself, oh my God, Burnsville, 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 Minnesota. Yeah. Um, but what happened to all the records sold and the money made? I don't think they're thinking about that right now. I don't think they're thinking about that right now. They're probably thinking about recovering and what they're gonna do. I don't think they're probably thinking about gold albums and Grammys right now. Yes, he was. Yeah, he was really like, and him and Sherelle could have been like Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell, But here's one thing else I wanted to point out about this Thai Squad. I wanted to point this out. Okay, so TMZ is not saying R&B singer Alexander O'Neill. They're saying former Prince, protege or former Prince singer. Like, they can't let the man have fame on his own. Like, maybe they're doing that because maybe the younger generation may not know him, and so they're putting his name, former Prince singer. Like, I didn't like that, y'all. I'm sorry, and I saw some other people pointing it out too. Yeah, like, why can't he just be R&B singer Alexander O'Neill? But they talk about former Prince, collaborator Alexander O'Neill. Like, the man, like, come on, y'all, let's not do that. Give him some dignity, even in this situation. Somebody just purchased something from my Amazon wish list. Who was it? I just got an email. I mean, the money to bounce back from such tragic circumstances. Hold on 1 second. Let me take this down. Hold on. Okay. You asked, but what happened to all those records sold and the money made? And then you said, I mean, the money to bounce back from such tragic circumstances. Are you familiar with the R&B music industry? I'm not trying to be combative, but are you familiar with Alexander O'Neill? Hey, William, are you familiar with Alexander O'Neill? Are you familiar with R&B soul? Alexander O'Neill had a really bad drug addiction. And then you have the record industry that rakes people over the coals. Yeah, they rake people over the coals. So financially. So when he had hits, he probably had a little change coming in here and there, but these people, these are not Bruno Mars's and Taylor Swift's. So yeah, and he may or may not have had, I'm probably sure he probably didn't have no fire insurance, any, rental insurance, probably not. This is a man that has given a lot of hits. Now his house and burnt down, his apartment and burned down to the ground. So I don't know what that question means. That was a very long time ago when he was rolling in the money. I would be willing to send him something. Hey, Dr. Davis, I'll be willing to send him something. Smash the like button. If you're coming in right now, hit the thumbs up button for me, please. Thank you so much. That's the talk of the net on all platforms. Everybody is shocked and Everybody's saying sue. If the oxygen tank caught on fire, you may be able to sue and get some money to get you another apartment. If that oxygen tank, you had just got out the hospital and the oxygen tank caught on fire, yeah, you may be able to sue. You might be able to sue. I'm not sure. Okay. Okay. It's sad, William. That is very, very sad. Very, very sad. I'm trying to get my stories lined up. Okay, everybody, let's get to it is time for what is it called, baby? Oh, updates and commentary. Okay, updates and commentary. We got a very sad update for Miss Jamaica. Miss Jamaica, remember she fell and hit her head and stuff? Well, I'm sorry to report, Ty Squad, that she had a cranial fracture and her brain was bleeding. Okay, so we have an update for Miss Jamaica, for Miss Universe. Okay. Okay, on November 19th, during the evening gown, she fell off the stage. The fall caused a serious head injury, and she suffered an intracranial hemorrhage, lost consciousness, and also sustained a fracture plus facial lacerations and additional injuries. She was rushed to intensive care in Bangkok and requiring 24-hour specialist. Okay. So here is the update. Upon arrival in Jamaica, she's going to be transported. They're going to pay for everything. The pageant, the organization, the Miss Universe organization. After difficult moments and unexpected concerns, the latest medical report confirms that Dr. Gabrielle Henry is in good health and nearing discharge. Okay. The organization reassured that it has assumed full responsibility. I know y'all have full responsibility from the moment of the fall, covering hospitalization, medical treatment, rehabilitation, and living expenses for her family, for her and her family. I know y'all did. Yeah, it's so sad, and the country has been hit. How did he burn? He had just got out of ICU, William. He had just got out of ICU, and he said the oxygen tank caught on fire. He said he was trying to stump out the fire. I'm sorry, there's nothing to play with. Yeah. Okay, so they're gonna fly her back to Jamaica at their expense. Upon arrival in Jamaica, she will be transferred directly to a hospital for continued treatment and rehabilitation. Has committed to covering all future medical expenses arising from the incident and pledged ongoing support for her recovery journey. Okay. So yeah, let's keep her in prayer. Anything is possible when you have the Lord on your side. We're believing for complete healing for overall Mother Jamaica. I just believe God's going to do it. Hey, Pringle, does she need a priest there? You know what? Too soon, bro, too soon. Okay. All right, hold on 1 second, y'all. Let me get this next story lined up. Give me 1 moment. Let me get it lined up. Okay, here we go. There has been an update with Chris, whatever his name is. There has been an update with Chris Boyd. Oh, wow. Okay, remember he was shot. He was pew-pewed over there. He was pew-pewed over there. Wait 1 second. I gotta get the notes on this, y'all. 1 second. NFL, there we go. On December 8th, that's the day, authorities took a 20-year-old man into custody in Buffalo, New York. He reportedly surrendered himself to law enforcement that morning. The arrest was carried out by a task force for the U.S. Marshal Service with assistance from the NYPD. The suspect is from the Bronx per the reporting. The individual reportedly has prior arrests, including a 2024 reckless endangerment arrest and several sealed arrests, alleged unlawful possession of personal identification, drug possession, and a 20. Yeah, this guy sounds like he ain't no joke. The guy that did it. The U.S. Marshals and the NYPD did it. I'm so glad that this young man didn't lose his life. I think he plays for I think he plays for New York. Let me see. He plays for New York, I think. On November 16th, at just after 2 a.m., Boyd was outside an Asian fusion restaurant in Midtown Manhattan near West 38th Street and 7th Avenue with two of his teammates when a confrontation occurred between their group and another group. Reports say the altercation involved mocking or chirping about clothing. Oh, child. Yeah. Oh, I'm so sorry. As the dispute escalated, a gunman fired. Boyd was hit. He sustained a gunshot wound to the abdomen. The bullet traveled into his lung and lodged in the pulmonary artery. He was rushed to Bellevue Hospital in critical condition. The shooter fled the scene at the time. It was unclear whether Boyd was directly targeted or whether the shooting was random. Investigators initially described him as a person of interest. Baby, you need to go to somebody's church. You need to find somebody's church and run around the church. Hey, ASAP, where you been? Hey, Origine Winston. Origine Winston, I guess she's seen William in the chat, then she came out the chat. Well, have you been here all the time, Origine? Or did you see William and you came out the bushes? Now, I don't want to accuse you. Have you been here the whole time, Origine? Have you been here since the credits roll? He's better than blessed to have that bullet, by your pulmonary artery. You're better than blessed. I've been in. Okay, all right. Because I know you still feel some kind of way about your sister. I think you still feel some kind of way about your sister. All right. Nothing but the Lord. I had notifications turned on when you were about. Oh, thank you, Miss Origin. Thank you so much. You're gonna make me cry. Okay, I'm back. Okay. Okay, let's get to. Oh, it's time, y'all. It's time for our 5 stories tonight. Let's get to it. Let me get this right here really quick. Okay. I'm trying to get it. Here it is right here. Okay, there we go. All right. It's time, Task Squad. It's time for our 5 stories that we read from the headline tonight. Let's jump right into it. Let me find it. First of all, let me find the graphics, and then we're going to jump right into it. Yeah. Cue the music first. All right. Thank you, musicians. All right, Task Squad. Do you have any of these carriers? Who has any of these carriers as your cell phone provider? Let me know. Do you see anybody that you have in this graphic? Coming in at number 5 tonight. What I've spoken with Mother Tucker apparently is nothing new. Oh, okay. All right, Origin. Okay, I see some Verizon people in the chat. I see some Verizon. Me personally, I'm with T-Mobile. I'm with T-Mobile. Miss, okay. AT&T. I see some Verizons. Yeah. Okay. I don't know if y'all heard the news, but all 3, Verizon, T-Mobile, and AT&T, have made the announcement that they will be ending all DEI initiatives. Right. Okay. Verizon, T-Mobile, and AT&T have made the announcement that they will not be no longer doing any type of DEI. Now, collectively, we could get some action, but think about it. Think about it, Sappho. Ain't nobody gonna boycott their phone. Ain't nobody gonna, Your phone, that's like your heart. So, but to hear that today, that was just like, wow. A lot of these companies just don't care, and they know you not fit to, protest. So, ooh, Jesus, I don't know, y'all. Do we have any notes on this, or is this just a general conversation? Hold on. AT&T, T-Mobile, and Verizon DEI. Okay. Let me see. Do I have it here? I think I had it bookmarked. Okay. Yeah, here it is right here. I think this is it. Well, you know what? I don't have the original article. Okay, so T-Mobile announced earlier that they were ending DEI programs. Okay, so T-Mobile already said that they were in June. In May, Verizon announced it was ending its DEI related programs. And okay, Okay, so this is why this is happening. Why this is happening is because they are scared that they're not going to be able to get their the rollback of DEI at T-Mobile, Verizon, and even AT&T appears to be tied to regulatory strategy. The FCC, under its current leadership, signaled that companies with active DEI programs could face difficulties getting approval for mergers and acquisitions. This should be illegal. This should be illegal, y'all. Is there a black carrier? I think that there was somebody that was trying to do that. I think it may have been Puffy. Yeah, they own a lot of secondary. Yeah, like I know T-Mobile, honey. They got so many damn towers. It's ridiculous. So it's like it's. I don't know what we can do. I don't know what we're gonna be able to do. These people are so damn racist. They're not even trying no more to be in the closet with it. I mean, we not really good with these boycotts no more, y'all. Cricket operates on the major network, y'all. I believe they appreciate operate on AT&T's network. Okay, yeah, it should be illegal if they're making threats. If you don't get rid of diversity, then you're gonna have problems. That should be illegal. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. Not slip and slide carriers. Child, y'all know some of them carriers is like having a can with a string between them. Mm-hmm. It's like having some of them carriers you barely can talk on. Okay. Thank y'all so much. We are at 458. Thank you. And this ain't one of them selection shows, and we almost at 500. Y'all gonna really make me cry tonight. Okay. Let me stop. Okay, let me stop. Okay, that was number 5. Coming in at number 4. Coming in at number 4. Let me get number 4 lined up. Hold on one second. That's so sad. It makes you angry, but you're sad at the same time. Okay, so coming in at number 4, y'all, what do we have? We have a story out of New York City, which was absolutely crazy. I don't know if you guys heard about this, but this man, this African American gentleman here, basically unalived his neighbor. Huh? Like what? Do we have the see if we got the notes on this? Okay, so the victim, Jacqueline Bellini, so this man unalived his neighbor, her friend, and her dog because the dog was barking. Anybody in the chat have problems with a barking dog in your neighborhood? I have problems with a barking dog in my neighborhood. Mm-hmm. Okay, so the victim, Jacqueline Bellini, described as 57-year-old New York woman, was walking her dog with a friend in Washington Heights on the evening of September 29, 2023. According to prosecutors, Moore tracked down Bellini and her friend, then opened fire. Bellini was shot in the back of the head. Her friend, named Lavon Harmon, was shot in the neck and killed. Bellini's dog, named Zeus, was also pew-pewed in the upper back. And I don't know, like this man, honey, he needs to be off of the streets for real. Now, this shit is crazy right here, y'all. The attack reportedly came after an ongoing dispute between Moore and Bellini. According to prosecutors, earlier that year, Moore had attempted to break into Bellini's apartment with a hammer, injuring people in the process. which had led to Bellini to report him to the police and obtain orders of protection. On November 21st, 2023, prosecutors announced that Moore had been indicted on multiple serious, unaliving in the first degree, unaliving in the second degree, aggravated contempt, cruelty to animals. Ooh, Jesus. In the months before the killings, Bellini and her family had allegedly repeatedly warned authorities about Moore's dangerous behavior. One dramatic incident in April involved Moore using a hammer to attempt to break down her apartment door. Gee whiz. Okay. Current status as of late reporting. Okay. Moore remains indicted. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, so he's been convicted, but I don't think he's been sentenced. Okay. Okay. Well, wait a minute. I thought that they said this dude. Let me go to over here. Hold on one second. I know what I read. I think he was okay, here we go. Yeah. The update is okay, December 7th, 2025. Okay, that's what this okay. A jury recently found him guilty on all counts related to the crime, according to the Manhattan District Attorney's Office. The verdict covers the execution style murders of the woman, the man, her friend, as well as the dog. Yeah, he needs to be off the street. I don't know. Was it the dog? Was the dog barking like that? Family friend speaks out after a woman murdered along with her friend and dog. I just cannot, y'all. Coming in at number 4, honey, a massacre in damn Washington Heights. Coming in at number 4 tonight, honey, a whole massacre. Just a bloodbath. Let's get to number. What are we gonna get to? Let's get to number 3. The FBI has fired 12 police officers. They fired the 12 police officers that took a photo kneeling. They did this around the time of the George Floyd protest. It was very sick. It was very twisted. It was very, depraved to have people make fun of George Floyd, especially law enforcement officers like FBI agents. So what happened was they took the photo and then I believe they were suspended and then eventually they were fired. Well, now they are suing to get their jobs back because they were let go. As you can see, 12 were kneeling as though that was some sort of joke. George Floyd passed away due to Derek Chauvin putting his knee on his neck for 9 minutes. And so, Ty, what dog is giving you problems? These are just the nicest dogs over here. Some are these. I ain't never seen dogs like this. These are just the sweetest dogs in this building. They don't bark. They don't. If they see you, they try to jump up on you over here. This is just a really, really great building for dogs. I kid you not. And for people that may be fearful of dogs. So they were let go. They were fired, you guys. You gotta kind of make like sense of this. Like, whose idea was this, right? So you have 12 FBI agents that have kneeled, and now they want their job back. You kneeled in disrespect to George Floyd, and now you want your employment back. Cash Patel, he's already underqualified, right, to be in that position. That's what I said. Yeah. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, there we go. Yeah, we will see how this happens. We will see how this plays out and see if they happen to get their jobs back. They're going to try to, I'm sure, do reverse discrimination or something. Or, we were fired because we were white. They always kind of find some sort of loophole or some sort of, y'all already know. Okay. Let's see what we got. Coming in at number, where are we at? 5, 4, 3. Oh, coming in at number 2. Coming in at number 2. This was okay. How many of you guys remember the case of the young man that was I think he was one of the last ones to get apprehended. Was he one of the or the last one or the second to last one to get apprehended from the New Orleans escapees? Some of y'all remember this dude? Okay. Well, he has been convicted. His name is, let me get the notes on this. Okay. His name is Antoine Massey, and he is facing trial. He is facing trial for RAPE. Opening statements began Tuesday in the RAPE trial for escaped inmate Antoine Massey. The first witness called was Diamond White, the woman at the center of the case. White took the stand and immediately told prosecutors she did not remember much of the night in question. She repeatedly stated she has never said that she was RAPE, insisted that she could not recall any key details, and told jurors she had been high on multiple pills, including ecstasy, and had not taken her prescribed mental health medication. Oh, honey, she's trying to get it. She's trying to get this whole thing thrown on whoever she is. Ma'am, listen. Do you think she's telling the truth, Ty Squad? You know, these women, when they're in love, they don't say anything. No, he didn't do anything to me. I don't remember nothing. She said she was high off of pills and took her psych meds. Prosecutors opened by telling jurors this case is about a violent attack in November 2024. They pointed to injuries documented by deputies, doorbell camera video from White's apartment complex, and body camera footage from officers who interviewed her at the hospital. They said the evidence shows White was strangled, assaulted, and forced into non-consensual sex by Massey. The defense countered by framing this entire case as unreliable. They highlighted White's history of false swearing convictions, her admission that she hit Massey first because she believed he was cheating, and her statements that she was actually jumped by another woman, an unknown man that night. Okay, this is way too complicated, baby. Normally they will have suspend them on paid leave. Yeah, this is way too complicated. If he were to go on trial, I don't know if they're gonna get a conviction with this. It's too much reasonable doubt, Time Squad. Yeah, it's way too much reasonable doubt on and too many question marks and yeah. Let's get these likes up, y'all. Y'all hit them up any other time, you know. That's what I don't know, Time Squad. Hold on, let me bring this down. Antoine, baby, listen, go with God, because you're never getting out again. Okay, that's trade though, baby. Okay, so this is what I'm trying to figure out. Task about. Are y'all cooking for Christmas? People don't really cook for Christmas like they do Thanksgiving. People don't really cook. People may do a ham, maybe a roast or something. You know, I don't know. I have no idea. Hold on one second. Okay. Sure. Okay. I'm sorry, y'all. That's family stuff. Okay. I don't know what my family expect me to do. I really don't, baby. Listen, call Ghostbusters. I'm doing gumbo. We're doing seafood for Christmas. Yeah, seafood. I hear a lot of people do seafood. Let's see. We always have Christmas breakfast. I think I want to do seafood this year. Prime rib. Oh, that sounds good. Give me a piece. Anthony, let's make sure. Anthony, you in Atlanta, right? You in Georgia? Can I come over for some prime rib? I don't want it too salty. We got to get to our okay, Dr. We got to get to our number one story tonight, and it is breaking news. We got to get to our number one story. Thank y'all for showing up tonight for Rip from the Headlines. We got nearly 500 in the chat. If we pushed a little further, if we could just push a little more, I believe we can hit 500. I just believe it, y'all. But we'd have to push a little more. We got to push just a little more. Okay. All right. All right. Typically curry goat, turkey, black cake, maybe oxtail. Yes, Ty, my house is in Noonan. Is it Noonan? Okay, that ain't too far from me. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, everybody, let's get to our number one story. And it is breaking news. But I don't think we have a breaking. We do. Well, it's late breaking news, Thais. That's fine. Okay. It's late breaking. Whatever it is breaking. Okay, let's get to it. I don't know if you guys have heard, but drum roll. Bing, 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 bing. Jasmine Crockett is running for Senate. Our number one story tonight. She is running for Texas State Senate. I'm sorry, the U.S. Senate. I'm sorry, not Texas, U.S. She will be in Texas. All right. U.S. Senator. Okay. Mm-hmm. Ooh, okay, so Colin Ari dropped out, and now Jasmine is announcing her run. I think she has the momentum, Ty Swab. I think she has the momentum to do it. I really do. I think she can, I mean, we've had Beto O'Rourke and we've had a couple others try, and it just didn't hit. Mm-hmm. But I think she's just popular enough to pull it off. What say you, Ty Squad, new followers and friends? Get it, sis. How many people think Jasmine can pull this off? She announced it tonight. She set the internet on fire. Everybody's stoked, Dr. Davis. Everybody's happy. What say you? What do you think? What do you think? I mean, oh, Jesus. That would be so huge. They over there trying to redistrict and do the maps different and stuff, y'all. This would be so huge. It really would. Mm-hmm. I do. She will get it. Go forth. Go forth, Jasmine. Yeah. She has my vote. Okay. Okay, so here's the deal. It's gonna be a hard battle. I believe she can. I believe she can bring in the money. The money may not be an issue. But ooh, racism and misogyny still is it's a thing, y'all. Racism and misogyny is still a thing out here. That's why Sister Harris had a hard time. That's why Sister Clinton had a hard time. It's still a thing, you know. I'm rooting for Sister Jasmine. I don't know because it's text. Yeah, yeah. I mean, Democrats, gave that decisive win back in November, so that was very encouraging. Pat, she can get her back. She can get back from Marjorie Taylor. Oh wow! Is Ted Cruz the currency? Yeah, Ted Cruz is, and then there's one more. I can't think of the other person right now. I just, when y'all, I'm just so sick of these people. I'm so sick of all of this energy that comes from this racist energy. I just want this all to be like, I'm just honest. I just want this all to be over with. It's short, is short is a thing. The hatred for women, and yeah, it is. Yeah. I pray that Jasmine goes all the way. If anyone can, Jasmine can. Okay. I would love to see her elected, but I think that it would be a hard fought battle. Thank you so much, Carter. We are so encouraged now, brother. I'm just playing with you, Carter. I'm playing with you, bro. Ted Cruz. Yeah, John Cornyn, that piece of fecal matter. Yeah, I forgot about him. Yeah, John Cornyn. And yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Let me read some more comments. Let me go back a little bit. This is really, really huge, though. A black woman running for Senate in Texas. Mm-hmm. I'm rooting for Sister Jasmine. Okay. I didn't know because this is Texas. Yes, indeed, Sister Jasmine. It's her time, and she's from my city, St. Louis. Oh, she's from St. Louis. Okay. Well, yeah, that's the number one story tonight. Jasmine Crockett has announced that she is running for Senate, and we're all here for it. I think if we all get behind her and everybody in Texas wake their asses up, some things are not unheard of, y'all. Anything is possible. Anything is possible. It's not unheard of, right? It's not unheard of. Yeah. All the other Dems need to drop out of the race and clear the way. Yeah, we got the word also. We got the word also that um, possibly 20 Republicans, um, probably 20 Republicans, you guys, are going to resign, are going to definitely resign, or they may not be seeking re-election. And so, child, that may be catastrophic for the Republicans, right? Maybe catastrophic. Yeah. John Cornyn is old and he may not get the Republican nomination because of Paxson. Okay. Crazy. Yeah, absolutely crazy. Yeah. Child, listen. I'm not paying. I listen, baby. You go get whatever you need out your storage. You better go see if they can let you get some stuff out your storage. I don't have it. I'm not doing this. It's always the same stuff with our family, y'all family members. You know what I'm saying? Always the same stuff. Always the same old drama. Okay. I just ain't never seen nothing like it. Okay. Um, what else is there to talk about, y'all? What else do we have going on in the news? Oh, I saw this. I saw this. Okay, you remember the blogger I shared with y'all the other night? Do y'all remember the blogger I shared with y'all the other night? Um, and he was covering the interrogation of that man that was messing with the that went up there to meet the 14-year-old. Y'all remember that? How many? I shared a link. It was about a man that went to go meet a 14-year-old at the gas station. Child, I saw that blogger today. I had been following him, so I saw that blogger today. He was live, or he had did a video, and he was talking about how everybody doing the lady from Brian Corn situation, and calling the YouTube community, y'all YouTubers are gossipers. And he said he wanted to basically, what did he say? He wanted to be Bible based. He wanted to be Bible. His critique of her is going to be rooted in the Bible. Everybody else seems to be like really doing her wrong. And I stand by, what was the sister's name, y'all, that was in the chat? What was her name? Ooh, what was that sister's name that was in the chat the other night? She really brought a word. She came on right before Tim. I can't think of her name right now. He said that, baby, everybody, the way we're treating her, honey, it's not Elisa. It is not Bible based. And y'all, I'm gonna put the link in the video. I'm gonna put the link in the video at the end of this live tonight, so y'all can go see what the hell he was talking about. I left a comment on his channel, sir. If you want your channel to be, Bible based on these stories, if you want to be like, um, have these stories linked to the Bible, and you go and you exegete the Bible, go for it. But there are bloggers that don't do that. That don't make that blogger a bad person. If you're not going to be, we're not going to be using the Bible to cover every story. If that's your methodology, that's what I left in the comments. Yeah, and y'all, it's too much. He had a lot going on in that live. He was calling the YouTube, that covered her story, gossipers. Sir, the woman, whatever happened with her and Brian Corn over there at that church, I mean, these people bring this to us. They bring it to us. We don't bring nothing to these people. And if she's going to use the Bible, if he's going to use the Bible, he better get it right. I had already gave the analogy about the woman. I I had already gave the analogy about the woman and they put their stones down. I had already gave a little yeah, I didn't know that, sis. That's why I probably have to unfollow him. I had no idea. I saw one or two videos. I thought he was pretty good, but no, I'm gonna have to probably put him down. You know, you don't have to be pro gay, but I don't do homophobic. Okay, I don't do that. I guess what these people want us now to do is these folks come out of the woodworks trying to bring their stories to the internet, and then we supposed to just like accept it and be like, "Oh my God, yes, girl, yes, sir, that happened to you." How long was you in it before you got out of it? She's the one who brought it to the, and I'm supposed to go to get a Bible and exegete her situation with Brian Corn. Let's not even talk about her and Brian Corn. Anybody, because we already been with this with Gigi and all of them. Okay, so we supposed to, no matter what the story is, right? We supposed to go get the Bible and bring the Bible to life and apply the Bible to every story that we do. I'm not doing all that. I'm not. Because some of these stories are very black and white. They're very, very clear. And no, I'm not doing that for those stories. I'm not going to even play with a guy like that. Not Tyesse Jackson. I can look at a story, whether it's infidelity, whether it's somebody in the church, financial malfeasance, no matter what it is. I can look at, I don't need to go get no scripture for it. I can look at it and tell it's wrong. Like they did that little girl up there. Remember the little girl? They was over there praying the demons out of her because she said she liked her stepmama. I don't have to get no Bible scripture for that. I don't. Mahogany over there in the choir. That was horrible. I don't have to get a Bible scripture for that. I don't. I really don't. How is it gossip? She put her business out there. Will nobody ask her? I don't know. I just think now, ever since, no shade, but ever since Chapel Swan opened that door at Convocation, now everybody want to be acting like they walk on water now when they come to these stories. The bloggers and the bloggers, they just doing too much to bloggers. And child, I'm gonna continue to cover my stories like I always have, with integrity and courage. And you can't you can't whoop me. You're not gonna make me do nothing different. Stop getting caught up in these situations in the church, and the bloggers don't have nothing to cover. We won't have nothing to cover. She's the one that brought. That's what happened, Miss V. I mean, that's unpacked. Yeah, I done seen so much in my day. I done seen so much. We go back way back to the 80s. I remember my mama, she was over there dealing with them people like Peter Popoff and all them people. It's always been something or another when it comes to the I'm talking about when I was a kid, y'all. I was like 8 or 9 years old. Some of y'all remember them preachers back in the day, and your mother would get a packet in the mail. Your grandmama would get a packet in the mail. Some of y'all remember. Some of y'all remember back in the day, your mama they would even send cash in the mail to these preachers and stuff. And I mean, their faith and their love of God, I think God would bless them regardless. But God will pay back the person that if they're not doing right and they're deceiving people, God will handle them. I think the mothers and the grandmothers, because their heart were right, they were blessed regardless, right? They were blessed because they were trying to give from a good place. The intention was good, right? Yeah, but some of them women back in the day, y'all, they were really, really giving up a lot of money. My mama was one of them. She was giving away way too much money. She was. No tea, no shade. She was giving away way too much money. And sometimes our household lacked because of it. It did. I remember Peter and the Miracle Spring Water. They had an undercover investigation on him. Oral Roberts, R.W. Shambach. Oh my God, it's just so many. Now, I never heard anything about them, but there have been so many, ministers over the years that were not on the up and up, and there have been some that were on the up and up, right? Popoff is still, yeah, I see it. I see it all the time. Reverend Ike, there was one in California called Reverend Al. It just depends on. Here's what I think. I think it depends on Ty Squad I think it depends on the ministry and the minister. I really do. And sometimes they're geographical things, and sometimes there's cultural things. It just depends on how you look at it. Hmm. Uh, Fred Price, evidence. What about the man who healed the deaf people? I don't remember him. Hmm. He had apologized for that recently. Benny Hinn. I remember what's his name. He came out. What's his name? Creflo Dollar said he was wrong about tithing, y'all. And then everybody was like, "Well, are we gonna get refunds for them books?" Child said, "No, y'all not gonna get no." Oh my God, hey, Bishop Felton. And sometimes it's mental instability shrouded in clergy attire or tailor-made suit. Yeah, it just depends. Like I said, you may have on the West Coast, they have a different flair. Down South, they got a different judge. Up North, it depends. And sometimes it's mental instability shrouded in clergy attire or tailor-made. So yeah. Because can I be honest, y'all? Some of y'all know it. Some of y'all know it. Paul and Jan looked as scary as hell to me with that purple wig and all that makeup and stuff on, And then Tammy Faye Baker, all the millions of dollars, and girl, you can get no waterproof mascara. The amount of Dateline in 2020 episodes. Yeah, I saw one on Benny Hinn, and honey, people still was giving. That's just crazy. That was Ernest Angley who did the deaf people for hearing. Yeah, I remember Fred Price. And then I got into it one time live. Remember when we got into it with that lady? And I said, when I was young, I remember Fred Price and them used to ask for your tax returns. They used to ask for your tax returns. And so she got upset to me. I worked there. I don't remember that. And I said, well, I'm talking about the 80s. She said, well, I was there in the 90s. Okay, well, see, that's why. I know what I remember. I remember they used to ask you for your tax returns to join the church. Mentally unstable, attract. Wait a minute, let me see. Mentally unstable, attract, or make others mentally unstable. Yeah, that's a good point, Bishop Fulton, because you know what it is? It is how can I describe it? I think sometimes people see fertile ground with people when these people, attract certain members, they know who they can work with and who they can work on. They know it's real right ground. Jan and Tammy were the worst. I hated, Tammy, she became like an icon for the LGBTQ after a while, but I hated how Tammy went out, y'all. That was sad. Poor Tammy, all of it was just tragedy, I remember that conversation. Ernest Angley would put his hands on deaf people's ears and say, "Let the devil come out," and pop their ear. Oh my God. See, I think people don't understand, y'all. A lot of this stuff really be performative, you know. And some people allow the performative nature to go on. Look at that boy. Look at that boy that went up there talking about he was delivered. What about the boy that was rolling on the floor? And they was talking, they was calling the demon up out of him. Remember him? Oak Cliff is headed for fall installing Tony Evans' son. Why you say that, Anthony Lester? Oak Cliff is headed for a fall. Yo, we covered that last night. Jonathan Evans is going to be installed over there at the church at Oak Cliff. Do you think he's not prepared? I can say this, honey. I know Fred Price put in Fred Price Jr. and child, they got a whole section blocked off. It ain't nobody in that church. They had a black curtain up over there, like, because they blocked the seesaw so you can't see all them empty seats. Yeah. Yeah, Bishop Feather, we ain't seeing you in a minute, brother. We know you're busy, though. We know you're super busy. Super busy. I do have a question, Bishop Felton, while you're here. I do have a question. I think I asked it the other night, and then I said, "Where's Bishop Felton when you need him?" Mr. President, the question is, I saw it online, and I was going to put it in my show last night, but I changed my mind. The question is, why was Jesus in a hurry in the book of Mark? Why was the word immediately used so much? Let me drop the link. Now, we can't be here all night, Bishop Felton. We can't be here all night. However, if you can answer that question, it will help me understand something. Why was Jesus always in a rush? And why was the word immediately used so much? Oh, he can't preach like Tony? Okay. So much in the book of Mark. Feel free to hit the link. Now, y'all, it is our goal to not be here until 4 o'clock in the morning. It is our goal. When he was living, it was when he was living. Oh, hold on, Bishop. Bishop, I'm dealing with a family matter. Hold on 1 second. Go ahead and start the question, Bishop. I got to type the answer. Why is
the answer lies in the fact that of the purpose of the writing of the book of Mark. And the book of Mark, it uses a lot of words like immediately and suddenly. And I think that that's pretty much common knowledge. But the book of Mark was actually written to Gentile believers. And Jesus intentionally portrays, Mark intentionally portrays Jesus almost with a expediency or an urgency. Not because, Jesus is frantic, because we don't see that same thrust or thematic in the synoptic gospels in Matthew and Luke, and we definitely don't see it in John. But because Mark is presenting Jesus as one who is going through life with an urgency or an expediency or the pressing responsibility of the mission that he had to carry out. The kingdom, the basalu tu theou, the kingdom of God is at hand. So the background of the Gospel of Mark is that many Gentile Christians were being persecuted in a very, very horrific way. And the Bible is, the Mark's gospel is being written to those particular believers to encourage them in the midst of persecution. So if you look at the structure of Mark, you don't get genealogy and a lot of things that are akin to Matthew and Luke, but yet there is what we call in biblical studies Markan priority, where it is believed that the Gospel of Matthew and the Gospel of Luke depended upon Mark's gospel to write their gospel almost as a guide and an infallible model, if you please, standard for checks and balance on the stories that he wrote. So, the short answer is that Mark's gospel is getting to the point and strengthening Christians who are suffering horribly during persecution.
Got it.
Yeah. And let me say hello to everybody that's saying hello to me. It's good to see you.
We have there's a base of people that really enjoy you when you come on. And then you do have some, a segment of people that, there's always going to be a difference of theological perspectives, and we understand that, and we welcome everybody to come and give their theological perspectives, and you can agree or disagree. You know what I'm saying? I think me and Bishop have come a long ways with regards to so many things. I hopefully he's understanding some things better, and I understand some things better. We used to kind of like butt heads real hard, but now I think I understand, some things. And I'm sure he understands some things too, No,
of course. And I've always admitted that I've learned a lot from being on this platform, especially from your community. I've learned a lot, and they've been gracious and kind. And you know, my girl Michelle, she's the queen of the room.
She sleeps. She goes to bed at like 4:30 in the afternoon. She goes to bed early, but
Okay, so then I'm gonna give the crown to Bees on Mars, though. That's what I'm gonna give the crown to. Bees on Mars.
she will be looking at this tomorrow. She will be looking at work tomorrow. So, hey, Michelle, we love you. We really love you, sis.
Yeah.
Okay, there's so much going on in the world, and right now, and social justice is at the forefront, and so many people believe that you can't have ministry without social justice being centered in that, Bishop Felton. And so I don't know, some ministers are kind of like coming out of their shell. Some of them don't want to look too militant. Some of them, they may have a diverse population of congregants, so they don't want to offend anybody. But in your opinion, is social justice something that needs to be pushed more to the forefront if it's not a part of your ministry already?
The late John Wesley, one of my favorite, I would call him a church father, not an early church father, but the late
Mm-hmm.
John Wesley said that holiness that is not social
Mm-hmm.
is not biblical.
Okay.
And so, if we are walking in holiness of life, and John Wesley defined holiness as the love of God that is shed abroad in your heart, to
Mm-hmm.
love God and to love your neighbor. So, it is impossible to have a mind to see the kingdom of God expand in the earth, which is defined as the rule and reign of Christ, his ways. God through Christ has broken into human history to restore things back to the rule and reign of God. Although the world has gone down its own path, when we read the teachings of Jesus, we are reading how Jesus says the world should be. The responsibility of the Christian minister is to spread that good news. There's no need for you to be afraid of dying anymore. Christ has died for all of our sins. Repent and believe the gospel. But now spread the good news, spread the life, the love, the liberty of Christ through the world. Show the world the right way to live. And right way is God's way. So, what has happened in Christian history, and we
Mm-hmm.
have to take a loving but necessary critique of my lovely tradition, the Pentecostal tradition.
Yeah.
We have to take a lovely critique at it, because we got to a point where we were so busy about spiritual things
Mm-hmm.
that you remember the phrase, we're so heavenly bound with no earthly good.
Yes, indeed.
Okay. And so, to me, that statement was left wanting, because I used to respond years ago. I don't respond the same way now. I would respond, well, if you're not heavenly bound, you're not earthly good.
Okay.
But I think that we were both right, but we were both missing something in the middle. And what we were missing is that if we are heavenly bound, we should care about the poor, the
Yeah.
disenfranchised, the destitute, the uneducated, those who for the rest of their life will need help from other benevolent human beings.
Mm-hmm.
Realizing that in eternity, there will be no sickness, no disease, no crippling ailments. The Pentecostal church was trying to get everybody physically healed. And we were slanging oil in worship services and
Yeah.
come on up,
Everybody just greasy head, just greasy. Yeah.
greasy head, get delivered from any and everything, not understanding the tenor of why Jesus healed. See, Jesus didn't heal so churches can go out and heal everybody.
Mm.
Jesus healed people to give them a preview of a coming attraction. He
Okay.
was letting them know that, listen to my message. I have power over death. I have power over leprosy. I have power over disease. I have power over all sickness. I have power over epilepsy of their time, of course,
Mm-hmm.
and or what they would call the palsy, right? To let you know that in the kingdom of heaven, no one will be blind, no one will be deaf, no one will be mute. So take these as signs of what is to come. Do the business of helping one another and taking care of one another and loving one another. And part of that is helping those who are treated disparagingly, those who are dealing with inequities,
Yeah.
those who are being left out of um, the the good of life. And of course, good is always subjective to the person, because some older people are like, hey, I'm in my retirement. I bring in $5,000 a month. I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
Where someone else may say, I'm not good until I make double that. And of course, it's subjective. Nevertheless, we're not talking about people who can change their circumstances. We're talking about the voice of the ones who are voiceless. They're crying, but no one hears them. They're hungry, but no one feeds them. They're naked, but no one clothes them. And so we have a responsibility to those folks. And now we can delve into the political arena, because I'm more interested in the apparatus of thought that created these conditions.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's easy to say it's the devil.
Yeah.
Well, the devil wears a suit with a tie and is in Congress, or is in your state legislature or your county legislature or your municipality municipal governing bodies. So
Mm-hmm.
what kind of policies are they creating that are putting certain people or persons in these predicaments? As a pastor, I'm interested in that. As a
Mm-hmm.
pastor, I show up for it. But I not only show up for policy change, which is my strength, and personally, I can do policy with any organization all day long. I come alive when it comes to policy, because it shapes how things are carried out. But
Okay.
I also have the dual responsibility to not just work on policy, but then work on the practicalities. I mean, like right now, as we speak, our church is filled with homeless people.
Yes.
The majority of them are African American males and females.
And it's very cold.
And it's very cold. And we have a partnership not only with the county of Ramsey, but we have a partnership with the county sheriffs and the city police officers, because they pick them up, they bring them to the Holy Christian Church International. Without question, we take them in, we feed them, we let them charge their phones, we let them stay all night long. They are
Mm-hmm.
supervised, they are guided. But I'm more interested in, when it's not cold, what are we going to do next about their housing? And here in Minnesota, Housing Stabilization Services, HSS, has taken a terrific hit. But our church is involved with housing the homeless, working with a tremendous group called Minnesota One Stop. We partner with people that are making it happen. Churches have a responsibility to find out what their niche responsibility is. And the good way to know, I don't care if you have 12 members of your church, well,
Mm-hmm.
what is God calling us to do? What are the gifts of the people in the room? Let's begin right there, because God is definitely not calling you to anything that you don't have the skill or the ability to carry out. So I hope I'm not talking too long, but
No, 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 no. You're good to go. And I said I was going to make a donation. What is the Cash App? Do you have a donation site?
we do. Yeah, let me I'll pull it up and bring it there. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
Um,
it is
uh,
cold, and I've been homeless. I've been without. Well, excuse me. They say you don't say homeless anymore. I've been unhoused, and so I know what that is like. So I want to send something. I did say I was going to send something, but it slipped my mind. It didn't come back to my mind until you mentioned it.
oh,
Um,
yeah, that's appreciated. I'll put it here in this chat room.
okay.
Let me see. I got to connect here. All right. Continue. Okay, I think I'm in. Okay. There you are.
Okay.
And make sure, let me know.
Brother Ben said he said he's up to donate annually. Thank you, Brother
Let me know
Ben.
if it showed up.
I don't see anything. Is it in the chat right here?
Yeah, hold on. It says this comment has failed to post to the official chat. Hold on. Let me try going through.
Yeah.
Let me try going through another.
You may not be signed in.
Right. Okay, hold on. Okay, I think it's in there now. Okay. Did it show up?
Let me see. Tyesse, do y'all see anything?
Should be.
Oh, you're not a moderator. You're not a moderator, so it's not going to accept the link. Let me make you a moderator temporarily. Okay, this.
You about to start trouble.
I'm just making it temporary. So, now try it again.
Okay. All right. Let me see here. Felton is a mod.
There it goes. I had to make. Thank you for pointing that out.
You know, I needed an IEP to learn what a mod was.
Yeah, just a moderator. Okay,
yeah.
so I can click give financially.
Yes.
Okay, give financially.
And just make sure you put a note what it's for.
Okay.
Yeah. You put a note what it's for. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, it's not. I see give financial. Okay, give via. See, they have cash. They don't have cash app. They have Venmo.
We do have.
They got PayPal. I'll do PayPal.
Okay.
I'll do PayPal. Okay.
Yeah, PayPal, text to give, Tidely, Venmo. Yeah. Yeah, that's out of my league. Somebody else handles all of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what is the for the child, I gotta do all this. Here we go. Okay, I gotta sign in. So what would it be if we're dealing with the cold weather and the shelter part? What would it be? What would I put on the memo?
Warming shelter.
Warming shelter. Okay.
So someone asked me, do I have any thoughts on the situation involving the Somali community in Minnesota?
Yeah, I definitely want to ask you about that.
Well, yeah, that's a micro question to a macro political challenge, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because there is a constitutional question and the exercise thereof. You know, how are we treating those who have been in this country but have not been documented rightly, or should we say have not become citizens? So being a conservative person, I believe in the rule of law. But I also believe that sometimes we have to critique how we carry out the rule of law.
Yeah.
In that, how long have they been here, and why has it taken us this long?
Yeah.
I think that there should have been a comprehensive study. I'm a little radical. I think that there should have been a constitutional convention to specifically deal with immigration, because both sides keep stating that we have a broken immigration system. And so while it is broken, let's take the time to fix it. So no, I'm not dodging your question at all. As a person who believes in the rule of law, I mean, sometimes the unintended consequences of believing in the rule of law, there's certain things happen that really break our heart and hurt us, because it's like, wow, this is kind of on a whole nother level of radical. But then I also, seeking to be conscientious, especially about political events, I go back to our former president, Barack Hussein Obama, who was referred to as deporter in chief. And he has unquestionably, and if you could do the empirical research, he has deported more people than President Trump has to date. And
Mhm.
so my question is, why the emphasis on Trump? But I do get it. Um, but I think that there's a bigger challenge here because these presidents come and go.
Yeah.
You're you're 4 in and you're out, or you're 8 in and you're out, and you're never in again after that 8. But the country must keep moving forward. So I'm more so about how do we interpret the Constitution in a way that we don't have to keep running into these same problems. Because if we're going to be deporters, let's be deporters. But if we're not going to be deporters, then we need to make it legal. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I think a lot of people have a problem with the fact that the immigration policy of this current administration intersects with blatant xenophobia and racism. And so, because of that intersectionality, people, whether you're the deporter in chief or whether you are just at your, base level of deportations, um, it just looks a certain type of way when there's a lot of rhetoric and language around these deportations. So you could be underneath Obama's numbers, or you can match Obama's numbers. But when you intersect that with the language and how he treats people that are, black, brown, or other, I think that makes it a little. That's what people have a hard time swallowing.
And what I do, and I appreciate that because
Mhm.
at the same token, we also have to look at how the media portrays the very challenges that we are, disturbed by. For
Yeah.
example, there was a news media video that went viral. I mean, millions in a few days of a Caucasian woman who was arrested by ICE,
Hmm.
and she was screaming, "I am a United States citizen. I'm a United States citizen." And they arrested her. That thing went viral. Come to find out, right here in Minnesota, she was not arrested.
Mm.
She was married to an illegal immigrant,
Okay.
and she was hiding him. They
Mm.
apprehended her after intelligence, and they questioned her for about 30 minutes. 30 minutes afterwards, she was released after they questioned her.
Wow.
She brought a lot of attention to it. So this
Hmm.
is, to me, that was a Tawana Brawley situation.
Yeah.
That's why I don't take everything at face value. So you have the whole country like, what are y'all doing up there in Minnesota? Minnesota has been getting a lot of press, going all the
Yeah.
way back to George Floyd, right?
Hmm.
And a series of other things that have happened. So as a minister, I hate injustice. As a man, I hate injustice.
Yes.
But as a conscientious observer, I like to try to be an ideal observer so that I can act appropriately in alignment with the word of God, which is always in alignment with those who are oppressed and those who are bruised and those who are disenfranchised and those who are discriminated against. I have to be sure to it that I understand what is going on, because if I just take all things at face value, then I'm not being should I say, fair to any situation.
Mm.
So, and I've also found that many people who are doing TikTok videos and saying a lot, they're on the streets protesting ICE, but my fingernails are dirty. My elbows are and my knees are rough from doing the work on a daily basis. And a lot of people that are doing these videos, I don't see them doing anything unless there's some camera there. So
Mm. Interesting perspective.
yeah, so even the Democrats in the Twin Cities have a healthy respect for me because they know that if something's wrong, I'm going to show up. And
Hmm.
it's not going to be about party affiliation or association. But they also know that I do the work,
Yeah.
and I do the work from house to house. I may not do it the same way other people do it. You know, everyone else is trying to do this grand, you know, nonprofit that's going to reach thousands of people. Now, I'm going to the lady across the street from the house, and I'm from the church, and this is a true story, who got mad because we kept parking in front of her parking space, you know. And
Mm-hmm.
she came to the church and said, "I'm gonna blow this that church
Ooh.
up." So they were gonna call the police, and I said, "Don't call the police. Let's go talk to her."
Yeah.
And I said, "Ma'am," I said, "I want to talk to you about what you did." And she was just like, you know, belligerent. And I
Okay.
said, "Look, I'm from the projects, girl. You're behind gonna end up in jail." And she was like, "Oh, you for real?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Girl, what's wrong with you?" You know, I
Yeah.
took all that pastoral tone away. I said, "Girl, they're gonna throw your butt in jail."
Oh, shit.
So come to find out, she just needed rent money.
Okay.
I gave her $600.
Mm-hmm.
She cried. She was $600 short on her rent. Was about to turn tricks to get it done.
Yeah. She was at the end of the rope.
And I don't care if it was my last dollar. It was a noble thing to
Mm-hmm.
get. We bought her sons a basketball hoop to
Mm-hmm.
put out in front of the house. And long story short, her son, right now, one of her sons, he's on Facebook. His name is Prince Kumi, Kumi. Look him
Mm-hmm.
up. He's got his own barbershop now.
Okay.
He's a he has his own blog.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you something. He just keeps coming back to me, man. Your church saved our lives.
It
I go
happened.
from house to house. All the houses I go to, 95% of all the houses we go to, what I do is I come, knock on the door, say, "Mr. Tyesse, you don't know us, but I see that you've got 2 adopted sons.
Mm-hmm.
And if you let us, we want to bring your child up with good morals.
Mm-hmm.
And we want to walk them through their educational experience, being sure they have all the tutoring and support they need.
Yeah.
And we want to help your child get in college."
Okay.
All around 95% of the households we help are now college graduates.
That's a blessing. And we used to have that kind of community back in the day, but you don't see it as much now. You just don't see it. But for you to do that, it is very, very admirable because yeah, we don't have community like that anymore. People are now scared to even go knock on the door and ask somebody, "Do you need anything? Can we assist you?" Because you
Well, I
know
think if somebody can knock on the door and rob you, somebody can knock on the door and help you.
that is a good point. That is a
You know, and so all of our help, we have a program called Blossom and Sons of Glory. We take the children from homeless shelters
mm-hmm.
and we expose them to colleges and universities.
Oh wow.
We buy their clothes because one of the learning impediments to children, which they call non-cognitive barriers to learning,
Yeah.
barriers that have nothing to do with where they are in their mind. It's when they wear summer clothes in the winter, And so what we do is we take them to Burlington Coat Factory or some other
Mm-hmm.
outfit. And we get you 5 to 7 changeable outfits.
Yeah.
We pay for you to get your hair done. And then we work with all the cognitive barriers. Now, I don't need the NAACP for that. I don't need the Urban League for that. I need
Mm-hmm.
Jesus to do that. And while we're trying to do this, every time we do big programs as Black people, there's always a family that gets left out.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, we don't need to stand in line for this. And they always say, well, Bishop Felton, when I make it, I'm going to give back to the church. And I'm like, no, when you make it, find another home and do the same thing.
Pay it forward. That's what I always say. People oftentimes ask me, well, I said, no, don't give it back. What I did for you, do that for somebody else.
Do
Yeah.
it for somebody else so that the ministry of the church, see, that's the spreading of the kingdom of God. To
Mm-hmm.
me, keeping Black people from becoming a permanent underclass
Yeah.
is it takes that hands-on approach. So it takes a minute for people to trust you. It
Yeah.
does. It takes a minute for people to actually believe you're real and that your benevolence doesn't have some angle, and so you have to work with them for a while, and then they realize that once their children are catching on. Because if you come to my church right now, I got a bunch of teenagers running all the audio visual, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and getting them in that now. And we take children and we bring them to law firms. We bring them to architectural firms. We have the newscasters come in and speak. We just had Hamlin University's president come and
Oh
speak to the
wow.
graduating class of our high schoolers. And on the spot, listened to one girl's speech and said, I'm going to use one of my scholarships and give you a full scholarship to our university.
Wow.
That's the change that I believe happens because poverty and a lack of education are inextricably tied. And if we can get you in with an education,
Mm-hmm.
then we can get you started. There's no guarantee we're all going to have the same outcomes, but there
Mm-hmm.
is a guarantee that you are in a position where you can make that happen. Now I'm praying for the sick. Now I'm working with their parents because sadly, I had to deal with a parent one day, and I asked the mother who wouldn't leave when her daughters were in this program with the women of the church. And I said, why won't you leave? She said, I never had this before. And I'm fighting jealousy
Mm.
because the type of rearing they're going to get, I didn't get. So I said, come on, walk with me. And I got a few other people to walk with me. I said, find out exactly what this woman needs to succeed. And now she's working at US Bank and is doing well. We send them to community college. I have a signature relationship with one of the major Christian universities in our city that
Mm-hmm.
whoever I recommend, the school gives one scholarship a year.
Oh
You know,
wow.
and so there's using your influence to make a difference beyond we shall overcome. And it's like, no, I'm a Booker T. Washingtonian to the bone. Cast down your buckets where you are. There's something that can be done now. And I may not be able to heal like Jesus. Jesus, all of his healings were immediate. Mine aren't, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and whoever he prayed for, the lame walked, the deaf heard, the blind saw the moment he prayed. But I can, by his strength, speak to the ills of my generation and hope for a great outcome for each family and household, especially for the single mother, because we have not yet seen the unintended consequences of 73% of African American children being born out of wedlock. We
Mm.
have no idea. See, we thought that the crack baby generation was bad, right?
Yeah.
But this generation that's coming up, who knows nothing about honor, knows nothing about respect, knows nothing about the dignity of struggle
Mm-hmm.
and the power of pain. No, they want to stay away from pain as much as possible. Any sign of struggle, they're out of it. They are not understanding that they are inadvertently training themselves to have narcissistic tendencies, not calling them narcissists. But remember, Narcissus looked at his image in the water and fell in love. And we are in a generation of children who have fallen in love with themselves, even to the degree that I don't even respect the authority of my own mother. And then I've got a generations of fathers now. You might hear this rumor on me, and I will say on the Tyesse show platform,
Mm-hmm.
Tyesse Report platform, this
Yeah.
rumor is true. It's coming out of my mouth.
Okay.
So you ain't got to worry about nothing. You don't have to say everything's alleged. You ain't even got to put that sign up.
Okay.
I'm talking about my life.
All right.
I do put men out of the church that do not pay child support.
Okay. Let me sit with it for a minute. Let me sit with it.
If you have a child and you are
Okay.
a member of our church,
Okay.
you're not going to sit in our church crying out to God while your child is crying out for you. And you refuse to be involved in your child's life. Not because your ex-girlfriend, ex-wife is not allowing you in their life, but you choose not to be involved in your daughter or your son's life. I give you
Okay,
one
Bishop.
opportunity. I
People
give
gonna
you
have a problem with that, Bishop. They are.
Oh, people have had a problem with that stance for years. I've had men that wanted to fight me over it. How are you going to put me out of God's house? I said, I'm letting you know how God feels about you neglecting your child. Because the Bible says it is better that a millstone be tied around your neck and you thrown into the depths of the sea than for you to offend the little ones. You've got a child. You got a child and you won't take care of the child. Hold on. Bishop, on a tangent, please expound on thoughts, how Somalians are being. No, I'm not on a tangent. I'm on a conversation.
Let's
I
be
didn't.
respectful. Let's be as respectful as possible in the chat
No,
with
no,
our.
no, 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 no. I've seen the
Want to set
resident.
the tone. I want to set the tone for the evening, just so people, because some people are new. So with your verb, nouns, and adjectives, just choose them very wisely. That's all. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Bishop.
So let me speak to the resident therapist parenthetically here. Definitely not on a tangent. Sounds to me that you are inadvertently maybe wanting to hear something from me that you haven't heard. But just remember one thing about me, you will hear my thoughts unapologetically. Okay, back to the children.
Okay.
If a father refuses to pay child support and he's got it, if a father is refusing to spend time with his child and he can do it but won't do it,
Okay.
you cannot be a member of our church.
Okay. Okay. I kind of see some things. I see some things. I think. I think what I'm thinking about is that sometimes church is a place where you get healing and sometimes you get motivation to be better.
If you can find another girlfriend, you can spend time with your child. If you can wrap your hand around a bottle of liquor, you can spend time with your child. If you can go to a Minnesota Vikings game, you can spend time with the child. If you can go kick it with one of your boys, you
Mhm.
can call. And all I say is, and I ask a simple question: have you called your son? Have you talked to your daughter?
Okay.
Can you at least let them know that they matter? Because
Mm.
it would be hypocritical for your child to be sitting in a therapist's chair one day saying, my father went to a church that never challenged him about his absenteeism.
Yeah.
No, no, no.
Have you had any pushback from that stance?
Oh, yes, I've had pushback from that,
Okay.
but I've always had a biblical conviction on it.
Hmm.
Biblical conviction. I've
Okay.
had a lot of men turn back around and say, I got mad at you saying that to me. And I went and just went to go see my child. And I had to come back and apologize. And that's all you had to do, would come back. Just say, I went to see my child. And then I asked, did you set up the time? Did you schedule that? I've even brokered schedules with the ex, the estranged ex, so
Hmm.
that that child can spend time with the father. Why? Because not only the scriptures say it, but sociology statistics teach us, or should we say, statistics teach us from a sociological standpoint,
Yeah.
that when a child lives with a father,
Hmm.
it's more likely to have good outcomes for their life,
Okay.
more than growing up with the mother.
Wow.
More than. So if it is good, but we all know the dynamics of today. It is good to have a father and a mother together. But you can
Mhm.
have a father and a mother, and they both be unstable.
I always tell people those concepts around nuclear families, and it's like I've seen some mamas and daddies that are trifling, and the grandmama and the granddaddy ain't too far behind. So yeah, I think, and I've seen single parents raise a household full of doctors and lawyers, and so I sometimes I think it's a case by case basis, Bishop Felton, and so
Uh,
many
the,
things take part in it.
yeah, the statistics show that when a father raises the children by himself,
Mhm,
less trips to juvenile detention, practically eliminated.
mhm.
Less behavioral challenges in the school because there's something about the father's accountability. As a matter of fact, if the father is involved with the daughter, she is less likely, I said less likely,
Yeah.
to experience teenage pregnancy.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
so Bishop, would you like for me to allow the resident therapist to come up? Would you be open to conversating with her, or
yeah, I welcome it. I
yeah,
welcome it.
Bishop is not, I don't think Bishop is afraid of a good solid intellectual debate.
Yeah,
The
because
resident,
she's speaking from a position that you and I had a set of rules when I came on here.
yeah.
See, yeah,
The
see, she
resident therapist, the link is in the chat. If you would like to come up and respectfully dialogue with Bishop Felton, the link is in the chat. You may do so at this time. Okay.
yeah, yeah, because I'm not being tangential, but this is a buffet of good stuff.
Mhm. The link is available for you, so you don't have to type. I know typing sometimes words get lost in the emoting of it of all. You may mean something and it comes across differently. So
Well,
you don't have to.
she's giving me definitions, and I appreciate her giving me her definitions.
Right.
Uh, definition of terms is what I'm referring
I,
to.
well, let me ask you this, Bishop Felton. Can you be a constitutionalist and a Black liberation theologian?
I think it would be difficult.
Do they cancel each other out?
I think they walk together up to a certain point. It depends upon what what the principles of what is it that each group is really trying to herald at that or champion at that time.
Hmm.
Because black liberation a black liberation theology, for example, does not mean the same today as it did back in the days, back in the early 60s,
Hmm.
when Dr. Benjamin F. Payton, uh, there in New York City, along with, because a lot of people don't know that James Cone came along, but James Cone is not the father of Black theology at all. But it was Dr. Benjamin F. Payton and a group of Black scholars who basically said, "Hey, we need to take a look at theology from the interpretation of Black people and not of our oppressor." And I think that that was a noble, very, very much so a noble endeavor. And I'm very familiar with the bibliography and all of the scholars appertaining thereto. But Black liberation today does not look like yesterday's Black liberation. That's the point that I'm making.
Can I ask you this, Bishop Felton? Is your one of your sticking points for how it looks today and your distinction of how it looks today? Is it because Black liberation theology today is a lot more inclusive of many marginalized groups?
Yes,
Okay. Will one of those marginalized groups be LGBTQ?
LGBTQ.
Okay. So, Bishop Felton, when you have a situation where we're talking about the least of these, when we're
Sure.
speaking about the least of these, do you consider LGBTQ people the least of these?
I've considered LGBTQ people made in the image of God,
Uh-huh.
like I am, and like anyone else.
Hmm.
I consider LGBTQ people, and I'm giving the foundation for my answer.
And you don't have to be, and Bishop Felton, you don't have to be guarded. Because I asked the question. I
Oh,
initiated.
no, no, I don't know. I actually say this for the sake of people that are listening.
Okay.
Um, yeah. I see LGBTQ people as people made in the image and likeness of God, ideologically, um, intrinsically.
Uh-huh.
This is who they believe they are. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and as opposed to, and I've learned this from watching your show, as
Uh-huh.
opposed to something that they can be, quote, delivered from. This
Right.
is who they are.
Mm-hmm.
And I've learned that, and I'm gonna try not to use fancy words here, but on from an ontological standpoint, this is who you believe you are.
Yes.
It's so, and that's your affirmation, that's your declaration, that's your conviction. As it pertains to whether they are the marginalized, absolutely, without question, they are the
Mm.
marginalized, and they're also the minority. Um, in the country, and I don't mean the minority as lesser and others are greater, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
speaking strictly of empirical data. Uh,
Okay.
and their marginalization has a lot to do with their ideology. Their marginalization has a lot to do with their theology. Marginalization has a lot to do with the fact that they are not as great in number as others. And of course, there's been a history of violence, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I don't believe in. I do not subscribe to it
Okay.
at all. No, the name callings and the uh, disrespectful tones. Um, I don't believe in that. To disagree ideologically, theologically, epistemologically, yeah, all day long. We can do that. We can have that debate. We can have that conversation. But so then the question is, would I help a person that's LGBTQ?
Yeah.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely, without question. Because poverty is not, for me to say I can't help you if you're gay.
Yeah.
That's counterintuitive to help you, right? What it means.
No,
I'm
that's
called,
true. That's true. Yeah.
I'm called to help. Yeah.
Yeah. The resident therapist, can you articulate the issue that you have with Bishop Felton's response to the Somali community over in Minneapolis, St. Paul? What is this stickler for you? What did you want clarity on?
First and foremost, I want to say good evening. I want to honor the man of God.
And I honor you as
And
well.
thank you, sir. So, Bishop, I am the resident therapist. My name is actually Tracy Gantlin Monroy, and I hail from the great Interdenominational Theological Center in the Atlanta University Center, which is the AU Center. It is the ecumenical seminary
So
here in
Dr. Ed Wheeler.
Absolutely, Dr. Wheeler. I am a different one of sorts, and they all know me as well. Having graduated many years ago, there's a painting of me in the Woodruff Library
Do you know
in the
Dr.
AU Center.
Do you know Dr. Keith Slaughter?
Of course, I know the radical hip hop Dr. Slaughter before he became Dr. Slaughter. I remember when he was in training. In fact, he was very close with the illustrious Dr. Maisha Handy, who is now, I believe, a president at a seminary in Chicago, I think is where she went. The church she started is not far from my house. But I came up because I wanted to give context, understanding that translation can be lost in text. And so I respect anyone who has taken that mantle to serve in the house of the Lord. I am not familiar with you, Bishop Felton, but I understand ecclesiastically. that no one just gave you bishop,
Correct.
if I can say that. So
Correct.
that comes with great tenure, submission, right? To whom much is given, much will be required. And so I heard you expound on the Synoptic Gospels when Ty called you up with the curiosity around what was the urgency seen in the book of Mark, because we know that the Synoptic Gospels are the seeing. And we know that each writer had their own, not even rendition, but interpretation in their own perspective around seeing some of the same things. And so one of the inquiries that was early on was, what were your thoughts around how the human beings of the Somali culture who identify that way? Because you're in Minnesota, right?
Correct.
Yeah, and I kind of caught that early on, and I didn't know if my tracking was off, but I just didn't hear a direct response. I heard the conservative piece. When I hear conservative, it leans more to Republicans, which I know there's been a change since the MAGA piece came on, which is a subgroup, I would say. I don't do much with politics, but I know enough just to follow in context. My curiosity was simply around what this is looking like. Haven't heard many persons of the ecclesiastic type speak on it. And so it was just a curiosity about what that looked like for you. You did share great information. I can respect and appreciate the stance you take on persons that father and parent children and not be responsible for them. We share that perspective. I think that it's necessary, a demand that when we parent, father, mother, doesn't matter, I don't discriminate, right? Because you have just as many moms that don't do what they should for kids. So I won't even split hairs on that. But it was truly just a curiosity about perspectives. I kind of have a history with Minnesota. Um, there's this saying that goes on with Minnesota, not sure if you're familiar, but Minnesota nasty.
Yeah,
If you can see
Minnesota
my face,
nice.
I'm tickled. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah. And that ain't nothing but nasty.
Ain't nothing but
Um,
nasty. Right, right.
uh-huh. So I kind of get around a little bit, just in full disclosure. I am the first Black female brain spotting trainer in the world. And brain spotting is an international modality. I am a licensed professional counselor. And during the George Floyd period, we were actually doing a training, and many people were with us. And it was actually a persons of color training for Black Indigenous persons of color. And one of the persons who was a neuro experiential demo went out for lunch and didn't make it back on Zoom when it was time to do the demo for the participants who were learning brain spotting. And so my people in Minnesota go from dominant cultured white people to persons of color, whether it be Asian American Pacific Islander identifying, more specifically Indian descent, Korean, all the things. And so Minnesota seems to be liberal, but also a hotbed of sorts. So that's a little bit of history behind. Now it's coming up with the Somalian community that supported a great deal. I won't say all, because my husband's Nigerian. We were having a conversation that even that split. But there seems to be a leader that boastfully shared that he rallied quite a bit of votes for 47. So just to kind of give context, so it wasn't anything personal
Oh
by
no,
all means,
I didn't.
not
I didn't.
disrespectful.
No,
I was
I
just
didn't.
curious.
Yeah, I didn't take it personal. So to tell you a little bit about me, I asked you about Dr. Ed Wheeler. I served
Hmm.
him when he was the dean of the chapel at Tuskegee University. I was his
Got it.
assistant. I was his assistant. As a matter of fact, Dr. Wheeler was one of the ones who recommended me for seminary. I asked you about Dr. Keith Slaughter because he and I
Mhm.
were in college together. We had several classes together at Tuskegee.
Makes
Um,
sense.
and
That's
then,
power to the people, Dr. Slaughter,
yeah, yeah, we called him
with his
Slaughter D.
motorcycle.
Slaughter D.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
he was Omega Psi Phi to the day he dies. Um,
Amen.
and then you had you probably remember the late Dr. Leonard Lovett.
That sounds familiar.
So
He sounds familiar.
Dr. Lovett was actually a member of the Church of God in Christ. He was the
Mhm.
founding dean of the C.H. Mason School.
Ah, that's some good history.
Yeah, he's the founding
Yeah.
dean. He was a good friend of mine. He spoke at our church several times, and he when he came to Minnesota, he stayed in my home. That's the kind of relationship we had.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So that's it's so far. Those were some of my circle of uh, colleagues as it pertains to let's just say ecclesiastical affairs, and I would say the academy altogether. So
Got it.
it is my pleasure, my honor to meet you.
Oh, thank you. And they all know me as TG Monroy.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So
TG Monroy. Yeah. Mhm.
if you ever run into Dr. Wheeler, mention me to him. He remembers me. He knows who I am. Or
Yeah.
Slaughter, or Slaughter D. Well, Dr. Keith Slaughter. We called him Slaughter.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, for sure. I graduated from seminary, oh gosh, 2010.
Okay.
2010. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And
I graduated in '96.
gotcha,
Mhm.
gotcha. Yeah, I went kicking and screaming. To be quite transparent about it, it was not anything on my bucket list, but I am a proponent of to whom much is given, much will be required. And as the saying goes, obedience is better
Sure.
than sacrifice. And so I am a marketplace ministry type of girl. And I was raised in ministry by Dr. Aaron Parker, who's the theology professor of over 40 years at Morehouse.
Okay.
I served at Zion Hill
Okay.
for many years. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Well,
that's,
that's notable.
yeah,
That is
yeah, when
notable.
necessary. Yeah, when it's, yeah, yeah, yeah. And so I've been trained well, having come through the ITC and having touched legacy here in Atlanta, and I just don't do disrespect. And so it was important for me to get up to express that.
And I didn't take it as disrespect. I was trying to tell Tyesse that I didn't take it as disrespect at all. And I can speak to you on this level. Sometimes when I'm on this platform or in a public sphere, to me, it is the agora, right? It is the marketplace of ideas, and iron sharpens iron, and we speak to
Ashe.
enjoy the knowledge, the wisdom, the insight of others. Like for example, I could see that there's some people in the chat room that were like, "Well, I peaked up when he said he was conservative." So I am a political science. I have my degree in political science from Tuskegee, political science and English. And when I say conservative, I do not mean Republican. And there is a distinct difference between that. So, there's the talking points of conservatism. Uh, number one, of course, is limited government, then personal responsibility, traditional values, free market economics, a strong military, and that's contextual. And then, of course, constitutionalism, uh, and I'm real keen on the protection of religious liberty, and I'm very, very leery of social change. To be sure to it that that change is fueled by intelligent policy. And if it's not fueled by intelligent policy, I'm concerned about social change. Um, I'm a supporter of the rule of law, and I believe in a civil society. I mean, and I can, dialogue and those different points all day long, but that doesn't make me a Republican. I have never joined the Republican Party.
No, but Bishop, right there. I mean, even
Can I ask a question? Can I ask a question real quick?
This is your platform. You can do what you want to do, brother. It's your house.
Who determined what's intelligent in the policy?
Intelligent people.
Okay.
Yeah, it is definitely not one person, but it is understanding that, even in an intellectual circles, we're not a monolith. Okay. But as we dialogue and we delve into the statistics, because I like to make decisions that where I am empirically informed. I'm data driven, and we can discuss those things and then come up with plausible solutions that does not disenfranchise others, that does not suppress the poor, that heals the brokenhearted. So I found a happy place in conservatives, in being conservative in my political philosophy, without necessarily embracing a political party that often does not, let's just say, bend towards the support of people of color or Black people or minorities or Black and brown folk. And I don't necessarily see that with the Democratic Party either. But that's another day and another
conversation. No, because we've moved so far. The goalpost has been moved, and we've moved so far from the staunch.
So let's and for the sake of clarity, let's put the goalpost back to the Somali community. Is that fair?
Beautiful. But can I just say this? I want to appreciate you giving articulation with specificity that tightened the frame, because I can see people even in the chat when they heard conservative, which has become a moniker, an idiomatic slang towards the Republican Party. So if nothing else, I appreciate that we were able to air out your operational definition for conservative, because right now in communities of persons of color, and I'll say this unashamedly, I say it when I'm on the continent of Africa, when I'm in the UK, it don't matter. I don't discriminate, because I show up as a 6 feet tall, Black identifying, middle class, articulate, educated woman. And I don't mince words, but I understand my audience to be global. So my mentor, Dr. David Grand, founder and developer of Brain Spotting, has coached and taught me the importance of, even when I use references such as Harriet Tubman and mixed company, global community, it's important for me to share who she was and is in spirit, to track along with everyone so they can gain greater understanding of what I'm saying. So if nothing else, I appreciate Ty pulling me up so that we could have further clarity around the language usage. But by all means, Bishop, go ahead as we're shrinking the frame towards the Somalian community. Thank you.
So I want to echo what I spoke earlier, with the assumption that there's a possibility that you didn't hear me speak on this. I basically said that I'm a policy person as it pertains to addressing these issues.
Mm-hmm.
And what policies do we need to address in order for these types of instances to come to an end? We're dealing with this with just about every president we've had. And now we are in a position because both we have the major parties, the Democrats and the Republicans, are both clearly confessing that we have a broken immigration system. I would
Agreed.
like them to define what a broken immigration system means, only for the sake of that being a hedgeway into an intelligent discussion of how we are to fix it. So the unintended consequence of this broken system is what's going on with the Somali population right now in the Twin Cities. Do I like it? No, I don't like it. But I also love the rule of law. But that's not being wishy-washy. I'm not going to be wishy-washy. I'm going to stay clear of being double-minded. I do enjoy the rule of law, but because I enjoy the rule of law, I am not inadvertently confessing that the rule of law is perfect. Something needs to be fixed. There's a bigger issue going on than what we're seeing in Minneapolis, because that could happen in Texas, or let's just say Houston, Texas, where there's a very large number of Nigerians. We also have a very large Liberian population here in the Twin Cities that we're not talking about in the news, should I say. And so my sentiments are more so towards policy. What do we constitutionally need to address? What do we administratively need to address? What do we need to address as it pertains to our policy on immigration so that either side will never have this thought that we have a broken system? That's where I started the conversation. And then from there, I began to roll into my approach to dealing with, the challenges in the Black community. I wasn't trying to go off on a tangent, but
No. And I was just using language, sir, because some would call me a grammarian as well as when it comes to syntax. And so I think that's a nuance of my own way of tracking and listening and training to just kind of, shrink the frame some, because even in what you just shared, you went from the micro topic to the macro topic and back and forth. So it's a dance. And so I can appreciate you even sharing that. And when you said that you were a political science major, that kind of did it for me. I understood your contextualization. And so my only thing when it comes to political science is you all, and I'm saying you all because you don't know about my dear girlfriend, Dr. Maisha Belazier, but she is also, she has a doctorate of political science, and we have these friendly dialogues and conversations because she goes back to the Constitution as a part of her methodology of formulation. And I noticed you're doing the same thing, right? Because in the in the academy, that's where they teach from. I guess my only concern has been, especially during this administration, is where is a clarity and an application that's congruent and consistent with the Constitution, given all that we've experienced since January the 20th of 2025. Some things have gotten really muddled because it appears that the safeguards have been disregarded as they've been pushed beyond anything I think the forefathers could have imagined. That's just my own perspective just from noticing.
And I think it's a healthy perspective because it is conscientious, and you're looking at it from the position of, the practical application of this administration to how they view immigration policy, and is it consistent with the Constitution? Is there any, I'm going to use one of your phrases, cognitive dissonance, right?
That's right. That's
You
and
know,
don't even know it.
right, right.
Unaware.
But I think that that's a valid question. But my approach is, let's deal with the Constitution. Let's deal with policy. Let's formulate intelligent policy that does not allow any president to go beyond parameters that we, the people, set as it pertains to the enforcement of an immigration policy that is constitutional.
Amen. We agree because, there's always people that end up on the periphery of
Hmm.
society who are marginalized because we know that there's a dominant culture normative. Much of what's in the Constitution, those of us on the margins, there was not ever a thought that we would benefit. Now I'm moving into an inclusive, more inclusion perspective around that. And so it's just a little bit disconcerting because these are the people I sit with. These are the people that I see. These are the people that I'm in community with. And the Constitution, all folks are not equal. And I think we continue to notice that. And so I'm grateful for people such as yourself to be on the battlefield, bringing the academy and the church together. And I think that's been long sufferance for the Black community in particular, with more specificity, that there has been a lull or a disconnect to some degree, because historically, we just didn't have those opportunities. So to have your voice and all the other voices is just greatly appreciative, because while you're on that end of it, my call is the mental health, which becomes the fallout oftentimes. So thank you for your service, sir.
Well, thank you for your expertise and the terrific work that you've put into your studies. I tend to honor people who honor the people who got them where they are. I listen to you speak.
Amen.
I listen to you speak of your mentor with terms of endearment, and that means a lot to me. And I usually lead my conversations not as a name dropper, but as one who says, hey, these people or persons significantly mentored me and impacted my life. And we just so happen to, Slaughter wasn't one of my mentors. He was my classmate.
Oh, wow. So he's your peer. No, no,
Oh,
no.
be clear.
No. I know Slaughter. You understand? And
Yeah,
so with
yeah.
that, I remember when he was coming through, but there's not enough said about you attended Tuskegee. I attended the ITC, and like, I don't know where I would be without that historically Black institution, if I were to keep it real. And even as a clinician and having the visibility I do as a brain spotting trainer, people often want to think that I learned everything through mental health. And I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. My most impactful education and neuro experience to date has been my time spent in seminary, because in seminary, you learn that you got to have something for the baby to the elder. You got to be able, when you standing in that pulpit, just like a global community, you can't just speak to one. You got to be able to have a buffet of sorts, that everybody can get what they need during that time being spent. And so I tend to present in that way. I train in that way. And people are just, they're floored by it, but you can only learn to tap dance like that in seminary when you're in those homiletics classes and being able to take the history, and when you dealing with a Dr. Lomax, and then you got the Buddha, as we lovingly call him, when you have Dr. Mafiko and these amazing Dr. Love Wetchell. You understand, these are some historical greats that I've been blessed to sit at their feet, who have been integral in my development that I get to take through life and through the world for myself and others. So I'm with you.
No, you've had a rich and noteworthy pantheon of academic contributors to your spiritual growth and development, and I can hear it in your voice. And
Bishop, they don't know me like that on YouTube, though. See, you kind of pulled my whole card, as they say, because I be in the cut. You know what I'm saying? I be incognito, because when I come on here and listen to Ty, and I get in the bushes and I go to these different places, I'm simply the resident therapist, and they don't know me like that. You know what I mean?
Well, there comes a time when the situation in life calls for you to be known, and this may be your time to come forth and be the resident therapist of this generation.
Received. I don't squabble with that, and it is a joy. Yeah. And everyone knows my source. I'm clear about that, because they're amazed by the gifting of the Lord. But my source is simply God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit. And that's just what that is.
Well, to God be the glory.
Yes, indeed. And to Tie Squad members that are going to bed, I know it is a late hour on the East Coast, but Bishop Felton is in the Central Time Zone, so it's just 11:18 there. I see in the spirit there are several people that are just fighting sleep. Let it go. Don't be in your cubicle tomorrow nodding. Go ahead, let it go. Thank you for tuning in. All of those that need to go to bed. If you want to stay up and continue to watch, please stay up and continue to watch. We're going to start the process of wrapping up the conversation. I want to give Bishop Felton some final words on anything he would like to say, and also the resident therapist on anything she would like to say. We'll start with the resident therapist. Is there anything you would like to add about anything we discussed tonight, or anything in general?
Absolutely not. I feel complete. It was important for me to stand 10 toes down, because I do have the gift of articulation, and my intention was pure.
Yeah.
And again, translation can be lost in text. And so I needed to honor your invitation to come up and speak with the man of God. Tone is everything in communication. And so I honor that.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much, the resident therapist. We hope to see you again soon.
Absolutely. Have a good night.
You too.
Good night.
Some of the best relationships, virtual relationships, Bishop Felton, start with a misunderstanding and clarification. I've seen it.
Yeah, that's how you and I were.
Me and Michelle Holly started off, and she is like my number one person. We did.
Really? Michelle.
Me and Michelle started off. I was like, "Who was that in the chat on another channel?" And she was like, and then we kind of like went back and forth, and then we hit it off. But yeah. Okay, so
this was a good conversation.
Thank you. I'm glad. I actually started off with the Brian Karn thing, and then the blogger that was saying that he wants.
What happened?
There's another woman. There's a new woman, a new alleged woman that's come out, but she's claiming paternity, and so just another. It's the same story. I mean, it's like a template almost, Bishop. Like it's sad, but we have to take these stories at face value until we
So
know
she's
more.
so did she have the baby?
The baby's already had. She's trying to go through the DNA testing part of it.
Okay.
Yeah, the baby's already here. It's just,
Okay.
she did a video. She did a video. I'll try to send it to your Facebook.
She did a live video.
She did a YouTube video. Yeah, I'll send it to your Facebook. And one thing I learned, Bishop Fulton, is all these women be looking the same. There's a look and there's a cadence. There's I don't know, but I don't think the YouTube community or any community is being dismissive of these women. I just think, like somebody said last night, when it happens back to back, there is a fatigue, that, I mean, what more can we say? What more can we add? We always want to lead with compassion in any scenario, but some of these things turn out to be whole messes. And, so people just stick in best.
In her video, did she accept responsibility for her sin?
She did.
Okay.
She did say several times, like, I'm not trying to, I accept responsibility. I take accountability for my actions.
Okay.
Yeah, Harold says compassion fatigue. It's like, it's too much.
Understood.
Yeah.
I have no comment.
But it's like,
I haven't heard his side.
You're not going to hear his side ever.
Really?
No. He don't Baron Carr don't respond to this stuff. Even when Demetrius Senegal rebuked him, Bishop Senegal rebuked him publicly. I don't think he responded to that I can think of. No.
Did they have a conversation and he recorded himself rebuking? The rebuke was on you. The rebuke is still on YouTube right now. It was a public rebuke. A public rebuke. Was Brian Carn there when he rebuked him?
No, it was like a virtual rebuke.
It's not the same.
Okay.
It's not.
Well, give us the background, Bishop, on rebuking.
Well, the rebuke is a strong, stern correction, admonishment, because there has been some failure, some coming short, and it should always be done to the person, in the presence of the person and witnesses to what has taken place. For example, in the Gospel of Matthew, Jesus talks about how to deal with a brother who has sinned against you. You go to that brother and go to him alone. And this is where a lot of people miss it, because the next thing he says, if he will not hear you, then go get 2 or 3 witnesses to come with you, for out of the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, let every word be established. He is not saying go and find 2 or 3 people to witness you confronting the person.
Okay.
Go and find 2 or 3 people who know the problem that you have with this person is actually true. So you can get people to listen to a story, but they are not witnesses to a story. And what ends up happening at times is we coalesce around stories, and we start trying to discern who's telling the truth, who's not telling the truth. And just because someone spoke it doesn't make it true. So, and then of course, if the witnesses and the person are not able to reach that person, then you bring them before the church. And if they will not listen to the church, the person is to be excommunicated. And I think that if you just do I don't know Senegal personally, and I'm not coming against him. I want to be clear.
Yeah.
But I'm just speaking.
I have it here. Actually, the title is Biblical Rebuke of Prophet Brian Keith Carn. Biblical.
There is no biblical rebuke if he's not there.
Well, he just sat out in a chair and just did it.
If Brian Carn is not sitting in front of him, it is not a biblical rebuke.
Okay.
Because Brian Carn has the ability to listen to it or not listen to it. A rebuke is when it happens there and the person is brought there. The person's accountability is there. There's, as Christians, sometimes in our efforts to display our intelligence, we actually parade our ignorance.
Okay,
And,
I got you.
and sometimes we can be right, but not bright about it. And if the key to rebuke is not to tear the person down, the key to rebuke is to make clear to the person that you've offended God, you've offended his word, you have offended what other persons that applies to. And that person has to be there. If the person's not there, that's just like, I'm going to take you to court and you don't come.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to have a conversation with you and you're not there. So as Christians, at times we rush to and rush through these precious biblical stages. Now, someone might say, well, the person would not show up for the rebuke. Well, if the person does not show up for the rebuke, then you have to go to who's over that person. Well, I went to the person that's over that person and they wouldn't hear me either. What, according to Jesus, shake the dust off your feet and keep moving.
Okay.
Because now, if the person is violent or whatever, go to the authorities. If the person is in danger of hurting other people in an illegal way, go to the authorities. But let's see, you rebuked him, but people are still going to his church. From what I could tell, I don't know. And
it's actually grown. His territory has grown since then. This was 4 years ago, Bishop.
Now, if his bishop had rebuked him, if I'm rebuking someone and they're not there, I'm exhaling.
Oh, wow.
It's not a rebuke. This is for the people. This is not for him. Because if it's for him, I have to be biblical about it. Again, I'm not saying that. I'm not speaking to the character of anyone. I'm speaking of biblical practice of rebuking.
Yeah.
If the person's not there, we can even go to a parent-child relationship. Well, that young man did not come home last night. Oh, he didn't? Yeah, but I sat down all the kids and I rebuked him, but he wasn't there. Yeah. You rebuked that child and made all the children hear the rebuke of how disappointed you were with the child who did not come home last night. The scripture says, rebuke them openly that others may fear.
Okay.
Fear to go that road. And then, of course, in Galatians 6, the purpose of rebuke is to put the person on a road to recovery. Even in 1 Corinthians 5, where man was having inappropriate relations with his father's wife, the Apostle Paul says, you all should not just be worshiping and ignoring this issue. You should have put this brother out, turn him over to Satan, which is a phrase in the first century world, which means excommunicate him. Let him know what it feels like not to have the love, the comfort, and the fellowship of the church, so that the person can think about their sin and seek to be back restored to God. But then in the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 1, the Apostle Paul says, you know what? He's grieved. Let him back into the church. So if your rebuke is stay away from God, I'm not saying that in this situation. I'm speaking about rebuke in general.
Yeah.
Because before you're rebuked, I think a rebuke should be the subsequence of a conversation where I can discern as a bishop where your heart is before God. Is this person even sorry for their sin? Are they confessing their sin? But if they confess their sin, good. We have to rebuke you openly, because everyone needs to know that this is unacceptable.
Yeah.
But I'm also going to put you on a road to recovery, maybe not to ministry, but a recovery to fellowship with the body. You're going to get the therapy and the help that you need, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
So,
that is an excellent breakdown, Bishop. I always thought that rebuke was proper protocol. It's been around for 4 years on YouTube.
I never knew that. From what I understand, you grew up in the Pentecostal church. Rebuke took place in front of the church.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I think maybe because of the new social media landscape, people are changing biblical protocol.
They're changing biblical protocol, and they shouldn't.
Okay.
They shouldn't, because it may take me 6 months to rebuke somebody. It may take 3 months. We have to weigh the process, pray, and trust God to work on the heart of the person. My concern with today's rebuke is exposure. Let's expose this person, right? Let's let the whole world know that we want this person to remain in this category of judgment for the rest of their life. I don't think that that's biblical. I don't think it's right, because usually the people that are rebuking are not in a position to rebuke anybody. Usually.
I don't know if this was a traditional rebuke, but Tiffany Montgomery went viral. She was at a conference, either her conference or somebody else's conference, and she basically said that God put Matthew Stevenson in her spirit. Then she goes on to talk about, if he doesn't do this, this is going to happen to him. Many people thought it sounded very word curses, if that's a word, but a lot of people said that God can talk to you and tell you to warn somebody. I don't know if that was a traditional rebuke, but it was more of a warning, I think, a prophetic warning.
I don't know this lady, Tiffany Montgomery. I've heard of her, but I don't know her. But I'll speak more to how a person is to respond to the Holy Spirit telling you about someone else's demise, someone else's downfall, or someone else's danger zone.
Mm-hmm.
Nathan went to David. Genesis chapter 4, God went to Cain.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus went to Peter. Satan desires to have you, that he might sift you as wheat. When we are warning someone about a downfall, we are to talk to the person.
That's what everybody said. Yep.
Because if you are wrong, then don't you become false?
Yeah.
If someone said to me several years ago, they contacted me and they sent a message and said, this church will be closed by January 2023. Ooh, God showed me that. But the problem is, since January 2023, we have 143 more members than I did. 143 more members in our church since January of 2023. So I could go online, call out the person's name, and do that, the so-called rebuke. I'm not doing it, because for what? You're wrong. Forever in my mind, you are a false prophet. We have to be prayerful and careful about when we delve into the realm of prophecy and we're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little different. Pray for me. Figure of speech. I don't believe that prophets are supposed to get it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Because you cannot lie on the Holy Spirit. Once you come out of your mouth and say, God said, you are obligated to be right.
And there are a lot of people that do it.
You are better off saying, I see. All right, you see. But when you say God said and you're wrong, now I know that many people have been prophetically trained to allow, so-called prophets to miss it. I've never come from that orientation of thought. Just keep your mouth off of God. Just stop saying it's God, because it's not. Because God doesn't lie. And God doesn't miss it.
Just say you. Say, I did it. I say, I feel.
That's like somebody's coming to me and telling me, I saw Tyesse at White Castle and McDonald's eating dinner. I would say, not the way he orders food when he's online.
Listen, I don't find it. I'm not elitist. I don't find anything wrong with White Castle, but I do prefer a more high-end, cuisine.
Yeah. The point is, if you're going to say that, then you better be correct.
Yeah.
Now, if somebody said, I saw Tyesse at this new soul food restaurant in Atlanta, blah, 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 I'm going to believe that. I'm going to believe that based upon what I have seen of your pattern. Because sometimes I catch the end of your show and I'm like, here he go, putting his menu out there. I'm like, folks sitting there listening to this man order food. And there's 400 people still on the line listening to this man order food.
Will listen to me. They said you will listen to me read the phone book. I said, I can't believe that. I just can't believe it. But I believe it. Believe it.
Yeah, but returning to that principle, that the principle's clear. People could say a lot of things about any preacher, but one thing they should not be able to say about a preacher who says that they speak the oracles of God, or they speak in the name of the Lord, or they speak prophetically. They can't be wrong. Yeah. You can't be wrong. The Bible does not allow prophets to be wrong.
Yes.
And this is not my platform, because I was about to say, and I'll challenge anyone biblically on that any day of the week. Because what people do is they twist scripture in order for their misgivings to be right. And it's like, no, so therefore, I don't know Brian Carn personally. I hope the best for him. I don't know his whole story. I do. I'm aware of stuff because it hits Christian Post at times, and it comes up on your timeline. All I remember about him is he was this church boy that became a man and was. I don't run with his circles. I guess that's the best way to put it. Yeah. So and I like to listen to what they have to say, and if they don't make a statement, I can't draw a conclusion. Not unless there's something that is irrefutable. Like he's not made a statement, but the police said that John Doe used his gun and shot this person. Okay, he don't have to make a statement. The evidence is clear. The preponderance of evidence has been tried in a court, and let's be clear here. Some people will say, well, whatever this lady's saying is facts. Well, the legal definition of facts is that it has been presented in court and tried and proven to be. So you can't claim that you have facts on anything that has not been tried and adjudicated as facts. We use the term generically, especially when someone's giving a story about their experiences with whomever or whatever. But it's not factual until it's tried. And so I don't know the lady. All she can do, I wouldn't call what she's saying as facts, because I don't know. I don't have any skin in the game in this. Yeah. I would say what she gave was her testimony. Yeah. And then what people will do is they'll take her testimony and say, this is what happened.
Baby, listen.
Well, if it is what happened, bring it to court. and let's let the court say, or let's let the other party say these things are. Then you have something to go with. But to call something facts or to say something is evidence, no, this is what you evidence is what you submit, and not all evidence is received as evidence. So
yeah. Well, it's been a great night, Bishop. I must say, great conversation. People have been inboxing me that they're enjoying the conversation.
That's a change.
Yes, I sent. No, they have. I just got one just right now. I sent $200 to the warming shelter on your PayPal. I did. So, and I left it under my channel name, the official Tyesse Report. So I'll try to send some more around Christmas. But thank you so much for stopping by and breaking intellectual bread with us. We appreciate you whenever you come by, and we hope to see you soon.
Yep. Thank you for the opportunity, and thank you, everyone. You all are always so kind.
Give my love to your family.
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye. Gotta love Bishop Felton, everybody. He's always the same. Always the same. Listen, we didn't get a chance to take up an offering tonight. But whatever you want to give, just donate to the platform, you guys. We didn't get a chance to do an official offering or seed tonight. But if you're here and you're still hanging on, be sure to support the platform. I'm going to give you the ways to give right now. What a great night. What a great magnanimous night of content, right? Real content. Yeah. Okay, so let's put this up. If you want to sow, the number I believe is $12.08 or 777. There we go. $12.09 or 777. Okay. You got it. 1209 or 777 is the number. Thank y'all so much. I hope you enjoyed tonight. We had a whole rip from the headlines, and then we had a whole apocrypha episcopacy tonight. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you like to support the warming shelter, you can give right there at thcci.org/donate. The link is in the chat. There are multiple ways to give once you hit that link. Okay. There you go. Thank y'all, moms. Thank you, my beautiful moms. All right, y'all. It's still like about 400 people here, or pushing 400 people. Thank y'all for staying up all of my night owls, the Night Owls Express. What is tomorrow? Tomorrow is Tuesday. We have Patreon tomorrow, and I'll try to check in the afternoon, but that's all we have for tomorrow. Tuesday is for Patreon, Uncut Tuesdays, if God says the same. If you're in the South or if you're in the Midwest, honey, it is cold boots. When I tell you it is freezing, it is freezing. I got the heater on right now. Only thing is that I'm just warm, brother, y'all. As soon as I turn the heater on, I'm too hot. As soon as I turn the heater off, I done got too cold. I've even tried doing like a medium climate, like 75. I still get uncomfortable. I do 70. It's not cold. It's not warm enough, So, all right. Somebody just sent something. Thank you. Let me see who it is. Thank you, SC. Since 777, I'm full. That was good. All right. Well, thank you for 777. The other number is $12.09. Thank y'all so much. We will get out of here, y'all. Yeah, I'll try to check in tomorrow afternoon, and then we'll have Patreon for all of the Patreons tomorrow. This has been another episode of Rip from the Headlines. I'll see you tomorrow. Cue the music so we can get the hell up out of here. I'm tired.